all of the lights.
Rutgers has climbed their way back to the middle of the Big Ten, but Greg Schiano did not come back to stop in the middle. They have started talking about Big Ten championship and college football playoff after a 3-0 start. But they welcome in one of the league's most consistent teams coming in to a jet black cauldron tonight. A sold-out, blackout crowd at SHI Stadium for a college football playoff hopeful in Iowa. We're glad you're with us. Jen Hale here in a moment. Mark Helfrich, I'm Connor Onion. You look at both of these teams and how they're built, it's almost like looking in the mirror. It's the same exact fabric.
Absolutely, same blueprint, no question. The Ferentz blueprint, maybe the Fry blueprint even a little bit. Two programs with the winningest coaches in their history, and this is going to be the greatest special teams matchup of the year.
Yeah, can't wait to watch Caden Weegan in the return game tonight for Iowa. First, let's talk about the pass game for Rutgers. Ethan Kaliak-Manis, fourth year as a starter in the Big Ten. Second for Rutgers. He's playing the best he's ever played.
He has been fabulous, and as you said, it's the second season here starting, and he's just doing a great job of being efficient, just under 300 yards per game, and most importantly, 0 turnovers for Greg Schiano's squad. He has been fabulous. His mastery of kind of the RPO system, very impressive.
And these wide receivers reminiscent of when former NFL wide receiver Kenny Britt was at Rutgers. Now, the name that makes every offensive coordinator shudder in the Big Ten, Phil Parker's defense, lost the Big Ten linebacker of the year, but that front is still dominant.
No problem at all. It's plug and play, and that's not an insult. He's just fabulous. He builds it from the inside out, as you said. And Aaron Graves, man, this dude does damage. He's in the opponent's backfield constantly. He is going to feast and be frothing at the mouth. The Rutgers offensive line is a little banged up. They'll play their hearts out, and this might open up some opportunities on the outside for those other great edge rushers.
Rutgers has already lost 2 offensive tackles for the season. The good news is, going up against Graves tonight, they should have Tyler Needham at left tackle healthy and ready to go up against this very, very feisty front for Iowa. Scarlet Knights and Hawkeyes to kick off Big Ten play right after this. The 10th sellout in this stadium in the last 4 years. Greg Schiano has built a team and built an atmosphere. Drone show to come tonight and much, much more. And what they say, they're going to jersey up this light show tonight at SHI Stadium. And let's get more on the injuries with Jen Hale. Welcome to the crew, Jen. Good to have you with us.
Thanks for having me, guys. Tell you what, fireworks up in the sky and fireworks expected on the field. Both of these teams getting 2 key offensive weapons back. For the visiting Hawkeyes, it's running back Kamari Mouton. He's a full go, but because of the physicality expected in this game, he will split carries with Jazzy Patterson. Meanwhile, for the hometown Scarlet Knights, they get literally a quite big presence back in a wide receiver in Strong. He was emerging as one of the Big Ten's top targets in those first 2 games, amassing over 200 yards. No way he was going to miss this one tonight, even though it was a short week, gentlemen.
That is major news to get Ian Strong back. After he played the first 2 games, he led the Big Ten in receptions, and Kirk Ferentz will have Kamari Moulton and his offense out there first after a historic night at Kinnick Stadium last week, where Kirk Ferentz became the all-time Big Ten wins leader with 206 in the win against UMass. Big Ten play is here. Iowa won the toss. They'll get it first, and off we go. Caden Weegan had a huge week in the return game last week. He starts Big Ten play with an escort. Caden Weegan down the sideline. He's gone! Welcome to the Big Ten. 104 big ones to begin conference play.
I've seen it before multiple times on film. If you're a small town kid in Iowa, maybe from Odebolt, Cooper to Gene, or Caden Region from the monstrous Williamsburg, Iowa population, 3,380 house call, untouched.
Both these staffs love special teams. And one of the fascinating questions, would Weegen get a chance to touch the ball tonight?
That was
shockingly, they kicked to him on the
multiple
opening.
questions. Just such a brilliant design on this return. It's basically an isolation play. You can see the off returner with him. That's Terrell Washington, an armed escort. Wow. We had multiple conversations with Greg Schiano, who's heavily involved in the special teams. Kirk Ferentz, heavily involved in theirs. And he said, we can't let this guy touch the ball. That's what happens.
But you knew that special teams would have a big impact on this game. We didn't know it was going to be on the first play. As Weegen goes 104 after he tied the Big Ten record with a punt return touchdown last week.
Yeah, Willie Mays Hayes style.
It went 95 yards. And a Big Ten record that has stood for almost 6 decades on that return last week. This one from 4 yards deep in his own end zone.
The way to quiet this unbelievable, as you said, raucous, great crowd. Putting points on the board early. Offense doesn't even have to run a snap.
So will Ben Black get a chance at a return and a retaliation? It's returnable, but he elects to fair catch it. You got to think as a returner that
yeah, that's
want the clap back.
That's a Greg Schiano staple too. Take the fair catch, line up and play ball. But wow, an unbelievably good start. Now, flip it back over Ethan Kaliakmanis getting the ball. It's going to be him, his offensive coordinator Kirk Ciarrocca with him at Minnesota. Now here at Rutgers in the second year, and he, as we talked about earlier, has been outstanding.
The Floyd of Rosedale Trophy not here tonight. Ethan Kaliakmanis has played in 2 of those rivalry games as Minnesota's quarterback and split them in low-scoring games, 13-10 and 12-10. Already points on the board as he takes his first snap. A little pressure in his face before getting it out to DT Sheffield, his new slot wide receiver. That is, in part, turning this Rutgers offense into a passing outfit.
We brought up the offensive line. Tyler Needham is in there and healthy without 2 of their previous starting left tackles, and then getting the wideouts going. As Jen said earlier, you said Ian Strong. It's not just the name. He is strong. He is tall, along with KJ Duff, 6'6".
Now that'll be the interesting matchup tonight. 2 passes to start. Kaliakmanis on target to his big target. It's KJ Duff at 6'6", the biggest wide receiver in the Big Ten for a first down.
Really ran the same play as the previous play where Kaliakmanis kind of checked it down. He's going to high-low this to the boundary. The corner, TJ Hall, number 2, is his read. Hall up, ball behind it, well protected. Aaron Graves safely on the ground. Nice spot.
The Rutgers passing game against the Iowa DBs will be fun to watch all night. That's where Rutgers felt like they had an edge against this Iowa defense. And 3rd pass in a row. This one is knocked away. Good coverage from Cohen Intringer, who has become a starter this year after several years as a special teams player for the Hawkeyes.
This Iowa defense, as we talked about, they got to be so worried about Graves inside. Is it going to be Herkett or Llewellyn? They play sides at Iowa. Linebackers Harrell and Shire, just in the deep stable of Iowa history. And on the back end, Deshaun Lee has been outstanding, and Wampa outstanding.
Iowa allowing just 10 points per game over their first 3 games, a 2-1 start. And it's another pass. And as the scout would tell you in watching tape this week, Rutgers is going to throw it a lot with 4 straight throws to bring up a 3rd down.
And this is what they do best, set up these 3rd and manageable situations. This may be a 4th down situation where Greg Schiano rolls the dice. Both of these coaches going for it for themselves out of the ordinary.
On a shot. 6. Kaliakmanis lobs it up. Sheffield runs it down. Inside the 5. He beats Zach Lutmer. And this aerial attack for Rutgers looks for real on the opening drive of Big Ten.
Just a slot fade, one-on-one. That's man coverage essentially right there. No help from the free safety. Great throw and catch. Great location by Avery Kaliakmanis.
A 40-yard pop on third down sets up first and goal. Their first run finds the house. Antoine Raymond bangs his way in. And a quick answer for Rutgers.
Nice job getting downhill, just an inside zone play. Watch the cutback, split zone, tight end going across, runs through the would-be tackler, and a great response after that nightmarish first play for these Rutgers fans. Great finish to that drive.
Well, Rutgers averaging 46 points per game. And yes, it did come against a couple of group of 5 teams plus an FCS team. But they just marched down against Iowa, one of the best defenses in the country forever. And less than 3 minutes in, it is 7-7. Now a message from GMC.
How important was it being from Iowa, going to Iowa? Is there a work ethic that's learned in that part of the country?
I grew up surrounded by cornfields. My town was about 900 people. My dad was always my coach. You know, he taught me how to be humble and hungry. You know, where I'm from, everything's earned, nothing's given.
All the Iowa guys I played with, they always had a couple things in common. Tough, smart football players.
Tough, smart, physical, that's what we wanted to be. They teach you how to do things the right way, whether it's on the field or off the field. I am the way I am, you know, because I went to the University of Iowa.
You know the term farm strong? Is that a real thing?
Farm strong, yeah.
What are you just
baling hay?
Baling hay? I don't even know, dude. I'm a Bay Area kid. Explain to me.
I think it's just, you know, being outside and getting your hands dirty a little bit.
Tough, smart football player, performs under pressure. And it all came from Iowa?
I think it did.
Jeez.
I think it did.
Can you finish this? Is this heaven?
No, it's Iowa.
Fox College Football is sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. All passing to get him down to the goal line, and then Antoine Raymond punches it in for a 6th straight game with a touchdown. Talked about how they're doing things in the passing game they haven't done in a while. Ray Rice was the last guy in the ground game at running back at Rutgers to do what Raymond just did.
So impressive, just a great response. Again, the emotion of this night, the emotion of Kaliakmanis, the big play downfield, and then setting up the physical finish, as you said, from Raymond, the great ball security. Whew.
They're not kicking it like that, right?
I would not kick it anywhere near on the half of the field of that dude.
I think he almost had a chance over his head this time after Weegan went 104 yards on the kick return touchdown in the game's opening play. So Mark Gronowski has points up on the board before
time to play. That's always a great feeling. We start 7 without breaking a sweat.
Well, Mark, this is the winningest quarterback in Division I history as of last week. Mark Gronowski passed Kellen Moore, the Boise State legend. And the question now is, can he unlock the deep passing game for Iowa against big-time opponents?
Yes, and as we got with Tim Lester, the offensive coordinator, could not really have started it rougher as far as that initial drive, and we'll see if he can get going. He's got a shot right here.
Play action. They do stretch the field, and Gronowski has it knocked away. Jacoby Henderson, the guy they challenged, with Seth Anderson working back to the ball.
Yeah, just got to get it out earlier. If you're Mark Gronowski, had him clean. Says we got to get back on the board with a hard sell play action pass, and there you just got to take that across the field. The ball should be gone already. Just a little bit of a hesitation, but no quit in Jacoby Henderson, who they love as their best cover. A little early.
Yep. Iowa sideline certainly calling for it. Probably hear some Iowa fans from the state of Iowa saying flag.
Got to be aware of 21 on offense as well.
It's Weegan who had the touchdown. They are ready for him. Roped down by Eric O'Neill. setting the edge in a big way to bring up third down.
They're aware of this. Get this guy the ball. Beautiful effort there by Eric O'Neal, just recognition. He sees 21s there. He says, I'm going upfield. I've seen this cat do some damage on the reverse game. Punt returner, kick returner, third and a bunch.
Well, that was the challenge to the Rutgers front. Iowa has a big advantage with their front five against Rutgers' front four. In this blackout environment, it's a 3rd and 14 for Iowa. They throw another deep ball. Gronowski dropped it in, but it's off the hands of Sam Phillips. So it's a 3-and-out for Gronowski and Iowa on their first trip onto the field on offense.
3rd and 14. This was the right spot to go with the ball. This is the single. They're playing a version of man free with a robber, an extra robber inside. That was where the ball should go. Perfect location. Sam Phillips has to help his QB out. Just a little nudge there, push off, maybe tit for tat off that first play. Got to be converted there if you're an Iowa fan.
Well, Kirk Ferentz told us this week, believe it or not, we teach our guys to catch the ball. They struggle with some drops. And he said those are wide receivers, not wide droppers, but that drop problem comes up again on a 3rd down. Rutgers back to the field after they marched down on 6 plays for an opening drive score. Rutgers head coach Greg Schiano, his second stint here, already into year 6. Time is flying since he got back on the banks after some time in the NFL. And he talked to us yesterday about how tough this game is because he said, we're facing ourselves.
Yeah, he said we try to be them. He idolizes what Kirk Ferentz has done for a long time, and he's done it his own way, his own style, but a ton of success.
And Raymond, the touchdown scorer on the opening drive, starts with a healthy gain on the opening play of this drive with 6 yards.
Nice drive starting run just to move the chains. That's what they've done so well. Get the ground game going to match that efficient passing game. And these guys, as you said, with the wideout talent, they're difficult to defend.
The receiver versus DB battle. Round 1 went to Rutgers. And what figures to decide this game? Iowa has so much good history in the defensive backfield. But Rutgers drove it right down on them on the first drive, and they're close to another first down. As Graves made the tackle with Shire on the Raymond run.
On the sideline here, Greg Schiano will get with his offensive coordinator, Kirk Ciarrocca. Give him right now, do I need to get this? Or they'll just sneak for it and get the first down.
No push needed. We've seen a little riverboat gambling from both of these head coaches on 4th downs to start the year.
Greg Schiano, you can see that's actually his son right there next to him with the 3-ring binder doing all the analytics. Right there, he'll get in his ear and just say, all right, hey, you know, the situation to go for it mode is maybe 4th and 3 or 4th and 4, depending on, in this situation, location across the 50 and plus territory.
It's Raymond stretching to the edge, and that is cut down by Wampa. You could see him filling the run hard on that play and the last 3 weeks. He's done a terrific job at safety for the Hawkeyes.
There's a thing called crack replace. Sometimes it's the corner, but Wampa right there, just to beat it. The receiver on the outside tried to help out his buddy in the backfield. I think it was Duff that time. Got to come a little bit flatter and a little bit more attitude because Wampa will bring it.
Well, he's a former strong safety. He's moved into more of a coverage role this year for Phil Parker's defense.
In the box, corner.
And out to the edge, it's caught. Strong for the first time coming back from injury. And TJ Hall makes the play. But it's a first down on a guy that Iowa wasn't sure if they were going to see in the Rutgers receiving corps, Ian Strong.
Watch the running back. They're going to bring the corner off the backside here. Wampa's over the top of it. The recognition of Raymond right here. Very nicely done to protect Deshaun Lee coming off the edge. That's the first little change up by Phil Parker and company. Bring that corner, throw that field hitch as the answer. Very well done.
Well, that's best against best. TJ Hall, the best cover guy. Ian Strong, the best wide receiver. Well, they're matched up a bunch tonight, you would think. This is out to the flat one more time and caught by Kenny Fletcher, who did go to the injury tent after that first drive, but he's back in there with a catch to bring up second down.
Not a ton of production from that tight end position. They're still getting these guys going. But hey, when you got these three wideouts, it makes sense in the run game as well. They've run a version of that high-low to the boundaries 3 times here in the early going. So that's something that they really like against this Phil Parker defense.
Well, this Rutgers offense led by Kaliak Manis, over 270 yards per game through the air. More balance on this second drive. No C.J. Campbell tonight. Their change of pace back is out injured. So Jay-Sean Benjamin on the carry here. He'll be the number 2 back behind Raymond.
I tell you what, man, our guy Sam Brown, he is on your workout plan. That guy is ripped. He'll get in there as they're going fast.
I think he's more on the Aaron Graves workout plan. That's out to the flat one more time, and this drive all to the sideline mostly for Kaliak Manis, and a first down to Sheffield.
Just again, so good of Kaliak Manis all season of doing just that. Getting the ball out. It's not an RPO. Just getting the ball out. This time thrown to the boundary. You can see Harrell eyeballing him. Zone. Coming inside out is the coverage of Shire 43. Too late.
A 7 of 8 start for Kaliak Manis. A 6-play drive mostly through the air to score the first time. This is the 9th play of the drive approaching the red zone on drive 2. He was pressured. He got it away, but off target. Fletcher tried to go OBJ with one hand and just missed it off the fingertips.
What I say about being accurate, man, here's their shot. They've got the setup, a wheel route. Great matchup, great selection. Almost foul ball. Those are the ones you lose sleep over if it goes the wrong way for these Rutgers fans. And see Coach Schiano say, hey man, come back to you.
Not a ton of tight end involvement the first few weeks for Rutgers. It's mostly been the guys out wide. Fletcher comes out here. He's looking into the flat, and here's Colin Weber. Back-to-back targets for those tight ends. And after the Fletcher drop, Weber makes it a 3rd and short.
There's an RPO with the slider that time to Colin Weber. He's reading this defensive end. You can see 48 Llewellyn. They actually do a great job to match it with Shire 43. And he says, okay, I'll just throw that around you. And set up 3rd and 5.
Fascinating to watch this Iowa defense tonight against Iowa State. They were not good on 3rd down. Their 2 wins, they were excellent on 3rd down. One of those money downs right here on a 3rd. Kaliak Manis to throw. He bangs it in there on the slant. First down and more. KJ Duff, his 6'6" target, sets up a 1st and goal.
Again, timing to Duff. KJ Duff is big and physical. You want to put it right on the inside armpit of that receiver, and there it is, perfect location. Hits the swoosh.
Kaliak Manis pulls it out. He races to the end zone. High stepping his way in for a Rutgers lead.
Perfect execution again. 49's the read. He closes. I pull off him. They match the tight end to the flat, the tight end to the back corner. Do it myself with Greg Schiano style ball security.
That vice grip. You can't get a still frame image of any of the backs.
It's clinic tape every rep.
Without that vice grip. So Rutgers, 2 drives, 2 scores. And for Kaliak Manis and for Rutgers, this is the most points that they've ever scored against Iowa. And we're just in the first quarter. Will Iowa respond? Coming back out with Gronowski after this. I hope you got your GTL time in today. Jim Tan Laundry. That's Mike the Situation from Jersey Shore. Good for this big game.
We got to work on the situations mechanics, man.
He's kind of shooting layups and going granny style on that.
That's okay, actually. Yeah, it might be better.
Well, hey,
oh, get your wrist up.
This is the situation for the Rutgers offense.
Yeah.
17 points, 29 punts in 4 games against Iowa before this. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns, and they lead Iowa in this Big Ten opening game by 7 points. So Mark Gronowski is back out. The question was, could he unlock the deep passing game? Looked pretty good on his 2 throws that both fell incomplete.
Yeah, the first one was just late. He's got to get that ball out in rhythm. The second one was a dime. Sam Phillips has to make that play for him. See his response here, a veteran. There's not one person on this Iowa sideline who will flinch.
But Gronowski told us this week in our visit with him that he has to continue to be a risk taker.
Yeah,
and
yeah, he's an engineer,
right.
Maybe a little bit of an over-analyzer at times. Just cut it loose.
Iowa's recent quarterbacks have been risk averse. Gronowski trying to change that with a flag out on the drive's opening play. It's a run for Patterson. And that flag came out right at the stop, or right at the snap from the sideline.
Offside, defense, number 96, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Keyshawn Griffin on the interior of the Rutgers line.
Yeah, not a freebie when he did. Not a huge difference in the yardage there of the play and the down, but you just don't want to give a free 5 to this team at any point.
You figured after that first drive was pass heavy and was a 3-and-out, Iowa would do what they do. And that is run the ball right at you. They get under center.
Change of the play. The DB comes down in the box. Trying to get a cutback.
Stretch it out with Patterson, who runs into a wall. He was stonewalled after the first down. But that's that outside running game that offensive coordinator Tim Lester is so well known for.
Yep, condensed set, stretch play. You gotta stop this if you're Rutgers or any future opponent. This is their #1 play. Sets up all the play action pass. Play it with Jazzy and Patterson. Press, press, press. Puts his foot in the ground, runs through the would-be tackle of Thompson.
Patterson's downhill style should fit well in this game. Expected to be physical. But now the more explosive back in there, Kamari Moulton. He's targeted out of the backfield, back and healthy this week after missing the past 2 games. And that's what he can do. Line him up a lot of places. Bunch of different skills with Kamari Moulton.
Yeah, great design there. It's a predetermined rollout both for Gronowski and get the ball in Moulton's hands. As you said, he can do it all. He can protect. Great hands, physical, and that's a great sign for an Iowa fan that he's turning upfield and trying to take somebody on with that shoulder.
Just 3 games into the season, Mark, he got injured against Albany. A shoulder injury. He is wearing a pretty heavy brace on that right shoulder. It's a fake to Moulton. Gronowski has time. Gets it away cleanly to a wide open Sam Phillips, who reverses back and is planted at the 30. First completion for Gronowski to one of his wide receivers. This to Phillips for 25 and a first down.
Phillips will feel good for making up for it. Gonna have a clear post, and here's the crosser. Starts looking like 3 deep zone in the backside corner, passes it to Air. Air can't defend that.
Nobody was even in the picture.
No.
When Phillips caught that ball. And first big explosive tonight for the Iowa offense. Trying to march down and tie the game in the first quarter. Gronowski off a low snap, and Terrell Washington, the former wide receiver turned running back, is used in his old spot and takes a shot out of bounds with a flag out at the end of it. He took a late hit. And Abram Wright on that hit for Rutgers drew the penalty flag.
See if it turns out to be passing yards here for Gronowski with the forward flip to Washington.
The play was over.
Watch
Personal
81
foul.
DJ Voname just wrecking shop along with Trevor Lauk.
First down.
And both of his feet are out of bounds. Probably 2 late hits there. Absolutely right there. Not good at all.
Well, both Wright and Elad were in there. They got the high hit on Elad for the penalty to make it a 1st and goal.
Yeah, we'll see the contact there of Elad. Take a look at that. If he's out of bounds and it's a late hit, it's a defenseless player. That's in that category of targeting if there's enough contact to the head. 12 personnel. They've lost tight ends down here in play action.
A little jumpy up there with Angoy, but he gets back. And it's Patterson twisting his way for a short gain.
Daryl Jabome here just does a great job. Maximum effort, making himself skinny. The Longueuil, Quebec, Canada native. Great effort.
Well done. He helped us through that.
He did.
French pronunciation this week.
Oui, oui. Speaks 2.5 languages, kind of like you.
He's become their best communicator, getting his defense organized with Gronowski and Iowa threatening to tie the game.
Kill, going from a run to a pass, or a weak run to a strong side run.
It's Moulton. He carves out a bunch of space for a touchdown. Moulton back in there for the first time in 3 weeks, and a quick score to bring Iowa within 1.
They killed a wide run to this downhill. Watch this offensive line unit. Another version of split zone. 88 Hayden Large has the backside cutoff escort type, but a physical finish. Good to see for Kamari Moulton.
Well, the most comparable game tape to tonight to watch on Iowa was Iowa State a few weeks ago, and when they needed a big play in the run game, it was right behind Logan Jones, their center, and their left guard, Bo Stevens. They go right back there with their top running back returning tonight. They're tied at 14. Sunday, a Fox NFL doubleheader starts with a rematch of last year's playoff classic between the Rams and the Eagles, or other regional action. Then it's America's Game of the Week as Dak and the Cowboys take on Caleb Williams and the Bears, or Cardinals Niners. Check local listings for the game in your area, only on Fox. Jen Hale will be working on Sunday. She's with us tonight on the sideline with Mark Helfrich, Connor Onion. A high-flying start. Kamari Moulton just punched it in from 6 yards out to tie it up.
Great physical finish by the front of Iowa. Flat backing guys in the end zone, setting up the ball to get back to Ethan Kaliak-Manis and company after that touchback.
It has been 6 years since Iowa's defense has allowed back-to-back scores to start a game with touchdowns. And first drive, it was Kaliak-Manis through the air before Raymond punched it in.
Beautiful throw and catch. Sheffield ensures the ability to get the ball to Raymond's belly for that touchdown. And right here, it's Kaliak-Manis discerning the defensive end dive down. They spun the backer out with the tight end on the RPO. Well done, Kaliak-Manis. Now 73% efficiency on the year.
It is a major jump, as you just saw with those numbers, and how accurate he has been. And he showcases it again to his favorite target. It's Ian Strong for 9 yards, and he is the opposite, Ethan Kaliak-Manis, the opposite of a self-promoter. We asked about this accuracy that you just saw once again. He said that's mostly because of the guy who just caught the ball, Ian Strong.
Right, exactly. They would text each other constantly, putting together the chemistry with 3 totally different guys, Sheffield, KJ Duff, and Ian Strong. And right there, the one thing you can't kind of, simulate is getting drilled by Max Llewellyn as you let it go.
NFL caliber pass rusher down at the bottom of the screen, and they keep it on the ground for a first down on 2nd and short.
You can see Iowa's plan. They're trying to make Kaliak-Manis pull the ball here. So Kirk Shiraka will have to just pick and choose how many times. We saw a couple early, a totally predetermined run right there. That was a predetermined run. We'll take a look at between usually 48 Llewellyn or 49 Herkett is the read, and they are squeeze. Watch these defensive ends. If it's an RPO, typically that's who he's reading.
And Lutmer is creeping out of the slot. Now he backs out of there. Llewellyn coming. Almost got there, and Kaliak-Manis buzzed it to the flat just in time before those ends could crash in on him for a short game.
That's the second time they brought the corner cat. Number 8, Deshaun Lee, is coming off this side. Great awareness, great recognition again by Antoine Raymond and company. Well designed defensively. Callie Akmanis has, I've been watching a lot of your film. Defensive coordinator Phil Parker. Great job replacing that with a hitch. Well designed, better execution.
Weber's second catch went for 6 yards. And so far, Rutgers living in second and medium and second and short. He lets this one fly. Another big play. Strong inside the 20-yard line. Back in there with big production after missing last week with injury. Ian Strong.
Great timing, great trust. It's what he kept talking to us about, right? Confidence, trust is what he kept talking about this whole time. This is a post corner concept to the boundary. Catches it with so much room left on the sideline that he can get a few extra bonus yards.
The 36-yard gain ends the first quarter, so we'll flip it around and we'll be left wondering, will the offenses be stopped tonight? 14-14 with Rutgers driving after one quarter in the Big Ten.
It is one of the best traditions in all of college football. Back in Iowa for home games at the end of the first quarter, 70,000 fans turn and wave up at the pediatric patients looking on from the adjacent Children's Cancer Hospital. Tonight, here at Rutgers, in a tremendous nod to that gesture, Rutgers had 500 drones take to the sky, forming a hand, waving across the miles to those brave children and kids in children's hospitals everywhere. Guys, proving this is much bigger than football.
Awesome, yeah. Awesome, one of the greatest traditions in our sport, if not the greatest, and well done by Rutgers.
Kirk Ferentz was very humble as always in saying that him and his wife Mary have gotten a lot of credit for that tradition, but so many people in Iowa City have gone into that, and he wanted to send his thoughts out to Liam Bartleson, tonight's kids captain.
Yeah.
They do that weekly.
Another.
Liam Bartleson from Altoona, Iowa. Diagnosed with epilepsy 2 days in to his life and was treated at Stead Family Children's Hospital. So inside the red zone for Rutgers, they have not been stopped on offense. 2 drives in. Callie Akmanis pulls it out. He pumps. He hurdles. He drives his legs, and he's short of a touchdown. The horn started to ring. Rutgers thought they had a touchdown. They're a yard short, but do have a first down.
It's the same RPO they ran for the touchdown, and great discipline on the ball security that time by Callie Akmanis. The end dove down. He pulled it. A little discussion about the spot, I believe. So here's his read, 49 all the way down. He pulls it to air. 43 matches the tight end in 12 personnel, and definitely down short.
Callie Akmanis looked more like Aiden Childs and some of the more mobile quarterbacks in the Big Ten. Now they get
Everybody
under, they push. Iowa plunges, and they didn't get there.
It's the birthplace of college football, right? And I think the first 2 plays look like that.
That was Rutgers-Princeton right in front of our eyes, 1869.
That was every ounce of every football player, tight end to tight end, in the box, inside, everything.
We got to get a read on the tonnage that was involved in that
lots.
play. They'll do it again. Iowa holding up strong on the first one, and it looks like they did again.
Officials definitely marking it short. These are one of those things that, to me, it's just so hard to officiate. You can't see the ball. Nobody on this Rutgers team will reach the ball across the goal line. That is one of the greatest things that they do in this program. A lot of people say the ball is the program. Unbelievable ball security.
Our coworker Dean Blandino has been talking a lot about this play at the NFL level this year. And on a third try at it, this one at least closer. And he's in. A 3-push touchdown for Ethan Callie Akmanis.
Please reset the game clock to 12 minutes and 12 seconds, please. 12-12.
They'll be reviewing this as they do every scoring play. Iowa not offside, which happens so much down here. That time, a little extra push from the aptly named in Jersey, Terrence Salami, 73, with the assist.
Ruling on the field is a touchdown. That play is under further review.
So for now, Rutgers leads by 6. And I got to think they're going to have a hard time in review seeing where that ball was. And there was a lot of smoke in there. Try to figure out, did he cross the plane or not?
The other thing you see them kind of icing up Kaliakmanis. One thing about that, when there's 22 bodies in 6 feet together, there's a lot of collisions on 16.
Well, Mike Pereira, you're getting push-tush talk on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays now.
Yeah, let's don't talk anymore about tush-push, but this is a touchdown. He's been pushed across. You can actually see it on the line feed, and the delay from the officials is the fact that they can't see the ball, so they go in, look to see where he is. They saw he was in the end zone, signal touchdown, and I'm sure that will be upheld.
After further review, the ruling on the field of a touchdown is upheld.
Mike, you nailed it. They nailed it down in the field. Ethan Kaliakmanis, 2 rushing touchdowns in a quarter plus here from Piscataway.
1 for 1, Mike. Not a surprise. And the other thing that does for that man, it establishes even a bigger differential in the time of possession, 13:09 versus 4:44. I know this is the new look Rutgers air raid system. If they still want to control that clock, and Iowa definitely does.
Well, Rutgers is 5th in the country in time of possession over the first 3 weeks. And a strong hold on holding the ball the first quarter and almost 3 minutes of this Big Ten opener. 3 drives, 3 scores for Greg Schiano and Rutgers. This is a truly new-looking offense for the Scarlet Knights. Time for tonight's team comparison, sponsored by IHG Hotels and Resorts. And that bottom line was the key to winning this game both ways, and Rutgers winning the game and the possession battle.
That's why they are dancing away with the pom-poms right there. 5 for 5 on third downs, as you said, dominating time of possession. And then got to give credit back to Ethan Kaliakmanis, offensive coordinator Kirk Chiraka. 12 of 14, 165. No touchdowns yet through the air, but 2 on the ground.
Well, all 3 Rutgers touchdowns on the ground. 2 for Kaliakmanis, 1 for Antoine Raymond. And this is a short kickoff. Weejan's already brought one back, and this time he's covered up. Before Iowa's offense retakes the field, let's check in with Jen.
Guys, had a chance to visit with Greg Schiano there at the quarter break, and he loves the accuracy Kaliakmanis is playing with tonight. Really believes he's feeding off this raucous, sold-out crowd. And he says he's going to continue to be aggressive and let his offensive coordinator continue to be aggressive as long as they're playing this way. And I can tell you, Kirk Ferentz, he circled up his defense a few times over there on that Iowa sideline, reminding them, hey, it's a 60-minute game. Don't get rattled.
Yeah, he's seen about 1,000 of these, almost literally.
Well, back to work for the Iowa offense. And this is their game. Jazz Patterson, a couple yards after contact. Him and Moulton are going to play a big role in covering up what's been a bad night for their defense so far.
Rutgers had issues with multiple variations of counter. That's what they ran right there. One of the other kind of literally counter plays for Iowa with the strong side stretch play as their base counter. Go on the backside is the changeup.
Off the play fake. Everybody sucked in on the fake for Gronowski, and he had room to run, and he rumbles for a first down out near the 45.
Really good reaction from Gronowski. Again, every bit of 239 is what they list him at. The crosser that came open earlier, Sam Phillips, is covered. They gloved the front side comeback route. He says, okay, I'll do this, earn a few, and make you earn every bit. Not a lot of excited corners usually to tackle that dude.
How many excited linebackers
yes.
ready to tackle Mark Gronowski.
Nice job that time by Bo Masco, 3.
This time a true give for Patterson, who shakes out of a tackle, and Jacoby Henderson saved what was likely a touchdown if he got past that level. 2 good carries for Patterson to open up this drive. This one goes for 9.
Patterson learned from the great Caleb Johnson. Watch what he does. Press to that front side, get to the heels of the offensive lineman, be able to touch him before you cut it back. Look at that push. Really nice job on the backside. Doetzler in there right now for Lauckett, left tackle. And left a little bit on the bone, little frustration.
Caleb Johnson, last year's stud running back for Iowa, now with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Gronowski's short pass, they set it up with a tight end to Bonami, who breaks around the corner and has a first down and then some. DJ Bonami, because Addison Ostrenga is out for the year, he's going to be a bigger part of what Iowa does.
Watch the screen. Set up. The George Kittles of the world are loving this one for Iowa. Setting up tight end another tight end, as you said. They were decimated and deflated, losing Ostrenga. Bonami competing his tail off.
His biggest play of the year at tight end for Iowa, and the run is stuffed. But nowhere to go up the gut. Daryl Dengohe makes the stick on the Rutgers front.
Just everybody to the ball mentality here to stop the run. They have to get Mark Gronowski in passing situations. 3rd and uncomfortable for him. Has to start with that great stop on first down.
Nathan McNeil, the freshman running back, is into the game for the Hawkeyes. And they motion him out.
Man coverage, linebacker out with the running back, bring 5.
Gronowski can't get it to him. Pocket closes, and he whips it into the ground. A flag does come out in the secondary. There are 2 flags down around the 12-yard line. Jabome was in there, so was Jordan Thompson, wrestling Gronowski to the ground.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 3, 10-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
So right now, Rutgers fans are upset about the call as to whether it was catchable, but because it's holding, there is no catchable, uncatchable situation. You see right there, take a pick. Looks like both Rutgers defenders on the tight end and on Caden Weegan. Greg Schiano just file that in the papers and move on. Got their money's worth on that one.
Saying better the hold than Weegan scoring his 2nd touchdown of the night. Well, holding sets up Rutgers Iowa inside the red zone, first down and 10.
Oh boy.
It's Patterson stretching it out and lowering his head, diving inside the 5 with a first down and goal for the Hawkeyes.
Got to be a Weegan here. That basically a fake reverse over the top and then run your bread and butter stretch play to that front side. Perfectly blocked. Great job setting the edge that time. Doetzler still in for Trevor Lauckett, left tackle.
Doetzler at left tackle lost the preseason competition to start at left tackle. A good run behind him on this drive. Gronowski takes the low snap and skips it in to bring Iowa back within 1.
Just a little QB ISO lead weak. Right here, watch for Patterson. Nice job, more or less ensuring the block. Jack Doetzler doesn't have anybody to block himself. Gronowski answers with an untouched run of his own.
So 3 quarterback runs for touchdowns in this game. And the Big Ten West went away a couple of years ago. And this is newfound divisionless football for Iowa and Rutgers. High scoring beginning less than midway through the 2nd quarter. All tied at 21. Fox College Football is sponsored by Discover. It pays to discover.
I guess you can't do the blackout mode with the Scarlet Knight, right? It's in the name.
Well, the horse is dressed appropriately, right? And
well, what you can't do.
The Rutgers marketing staff went full Oprah mode in between our break there. They had a golf challenge that led to 50 TVs being given away.
Wow.
And 50 flat screen TVs are going home with the loudest fans in the building
Does
tonight.
Jen Hale have one? Is she getting one?
She should.
Yes.
We need a prop for her down there. Mark Gronowski walk-in touchdown, and Rutgers is back on the field with their offense in a 20-21 score. Ethan Kaliakmanis, accurate at the highest level he's been in his career so far this year, and that is carried right into Big Ten play. 12 of 14 in his first Big Ten start of the year.
Yeah, he has been money, and when you really look at this yardage, this is for Kirk Ferentz, man. Hey, I've been there before, been there, done that. When you add up that 100-yard kickoff return to the tally, they're basically dead even, 21 all. Let's play.
Kaliakmanis, 2 rushing touchdowns. It was his arm that led them down for their first score. A Raymond touchdown. He's going up top again. Contested ball knocked away. The best cover guy for Iowa, TJ Hall, was giving up 6 inches on KJ Duff and still won.
Yeah, Coach Yano giving the officials an earful on that sideline. Definitely looked like we'll see it here. TJ Hall the whole way has that arm. It's a grab, and there's a restrict. I get why he's mad. He held him for about 6 yards, a little push off there at the end. Maybe they're saying, you know, again, tit for tat, play on. 2nd and 10 either way.
Breaking news, incompletion for Kaliakmanis.
Yes.
He is swarmed. He stepped out of it. Wants more action downfield, and there's a flag. Ian Strong tangled up with the other corner, Deshaun Lee, and the flag flies this time.
This is
Pass interference.
They'll announce this.
Defense, number 8. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
That's one of those split zone RPO schemes where Phil Parker just sends him right for the QB. Really nice awareness again and trust by Kaliakmanis. Don't lose my cool, step up, give my guy a chance, and draw the flag.
Won it on the first play of the drive, didn't get it this time. First down on that penalty on Lee.
Quarterbacks everywhere say, hey, let's at least try to block Brian Allen. A little bit differently than that.
This time they do. Needham squared up with him in the run game, but he created a mess anyway. Just 2 yards as Jaden Harrell fills the gap from linebacker.
A nice job just wadding that up. Iowa trying to play as much zone as possible because of those guys. That guy's numbers right there, 12 of 15, just uber efficient quarterback play from Kaliakmanis.
Rutgers has scored 30-plus points in 7 straight games, a school record. On their way so far tonight, as Kaliakmanis pumped, got out of there, and Allen slams him down for no gain. And here's a 3rd and long coming up after some pain.
Ooh, yeah, that's a face mask adjuster right there. This is a double buckle chin strap game. That's that head, get the head out of there, Brian Allen.
Pressure coming. Kaliakmanis lofts one, sideline, Lutmer tangled up, and a flag flies again. 3 deep balls to 3 different wide receivers on the drive. And Iowa flagged for a second time.
Defense, number 6. 15-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
Exact same play that led to the first touchdown, and that's a no-doubter. Zach Lutmer, they love at Iowa. They brought pressure that time. They trust him. He's one of their best leaders. He's young, but he's really taking initiative and doing a great job on that back end.
Well, Mark, this drive for Rutgers started back at their own 25. They've only gained a true 2 yards. 2 true yards on this drive. The others by penalty on the defensive backs for Iowa. One on Lee, this one on Lutmer, and first down and 10 again for Kaliakmanis and Rutgers offense.
Phil Parker messing with these safeties, playing around with Kaliakmanis.
Those backers come crashing in again, and they do keep that contained for just a 3-yard carry.
Yeah, three yards is good. Obviously, when you get 4, and then you can move the chains all night long. But Raymond does a nice job of recognizing it. That's the game that Phil Parker's going to play all night long. Defensive coordinator is just bait Kaliakmanis to be patient, and then take those shots and compete for the ball.
And they have.
Yes.
They've taken 3 shots already. This time to the field for Rutgers. Herkett came crashing in. Raymond went buzzing by him through the line. He's spun around a yard shy of a first down.
This is a definition of a mesh charge. The mesh is when the quarterback and the running back are coming together. Watch this mesh charge. He's running a little 4.2 40. Attack the quarterback, Kaliakmanis, saying, "Hey man, don't hit me." But that's a live situation. Well defended. Better response is the handoff in 3rd and 1.
The Rutgers 5 of 5 on 3rd down.
12 personnel.
This is 3rd in the nose of the football. It's Raymond. Space outside and a first down. 6 of 6 on 3rd down against a historically dominant Iowa defense with Phil Parker.
Another version of split zone. That time we had the motion man with the receiver creating a little eye candy, and then the 12 personnel game plan that they've deployed. They have not done this a ton. This is their normal mode. 1 tight end and these 3 talented wideouts.
2 first downs by penalty, 1 on that 3rd down conversion, and the march is on for Rutgers for a 4th straight drive. Lofted sideline once more and broken up cleanly this time for TJ Hall, and jarred it out of the hands of KJ Duff.
Again, the ball placement of Kaliakmanis dialed in. Perfect throw to KJ Duff. Watch the patience. When you talk about the patience of a great DB, maybe a little OPI right there. Gets that right hand up and fights for it. He's got to get that hand off and come back and get it for his QB.
Duff, Sheffield, and Strong, those have been helmet tap guys, meaning they don't come out of the game much for Rutgers, but KJ Duff, one of their top targets, is out. Kaliakmanis back to work and out to the sideline for a first down. Kenny Fletcher tight ropes it and moves the chains for the Scarlet Knights.
Really nice protection and awareness again by Kaliakmanis and company. Watch Intringer 4 is going to come off this left side. These backs have done a phenomenal job of recognition and protection. Right there, a little throw and catch to the flat route. First down inside the 20.
The 10th play of this drive for Rutgers, yet to be stopped on offense in this game. On play number 10, Kaliakmanis sees the pocket close. He's swung down by Carson Shire with the first sack of the night for Iowa.
Effort. We've been saying about these Iowa linebackers for about 1,000 years. And this guy's at the top of the table. Watch 43. Adds himself to the rush. The 4 down guys. You see Graves probably getting held. A little bit of a shot to the head here. Watch 95. Probably not forcible enough to get that call.
The first time tonight, Iowa has forced a negative play. Known for living in Big Ten teams' backfields. And back out to the flat for Fletcher. Second catch of the drive for the Rutgers tight end. And after the negative play, Rutgers faces a 3rd down and medium.
We said they didn't use their tight ends that much. They're using them a ton tonight. Watch the little slider action. He has to avoid the blitzing, or at least showing up there. Zach Lutmer, 6.
3rd and 6 of the 14.
Well, Rutgers just kind of messed around with using their tight ends in a blowout last week, but in true stress situations, they've gone to their tight ends tonight. 6 targets for those 2 guys, Weber and Fletcher. On a 3rd down, the blitz is coming. He bangs it in, but incomplete. Rutgers asking for a flag. Lutmer gets his revenge, covering up the speedy DT Sheffield. 4th down.
Show 0 blitz. certainly bring Wampa one off that weak side.
Mark, what's this? Field goal unit is coming out after this third down stop.
They pop out both linebackers underneath, and it just creates enough of just a little bit of a hesitation for Kaliakmanis, but a safe spot. And a field goal.
Jay Patel has made a Rutgers record 18 straight field goals. His first attempt of the night from 32. And flags go flying. That blows this play dead.
Full start. Kicking team, number 69. 5-yard penalty. Still fourth down.
Kobe Asamoah. Big fella inside called for the flinch. Duly noted in the Shiano notebook.
Well, you do not see many special teams mistakes either way from Rutgers and Iowa. Asamoah, with the early start, backs it up to a 37-yard try for Jay Patel. Was Pierre on that first kick that didn't count? This one backed up 5 more yards. And Patel bangs it off the upright. His first miss in a long time. 18 straight makes, the Rutgers record before that doink off the right upright. So Rutgers yet to be stopped in this game. The only thing that has kept them off the board on their 4 drives, the upright. Still tied at 21, 2:40 in the second. Jay Patel nailed the first one when the penalty flag flew, backed him up 5 yards, and his first miss for Rutgers in 19 tries.
Football gods mess with you, man. You create a little of your own issue with that false start.
Quarterback run. Gronowski begins the drive by taking on a swarm of Scarlet Knights and give him 6 yards to open up this drive with 2.5 minutes to go until halftime.
2.5 minutes to go. You see Iowa in 2-minute mode here, going fast.
Well, Rutgers will get the ball out of the locker room. It's Kamari Moulton jumping over the pile, and he is about a half yard short of the first down. And that should, with Iowa's pace, take us to the 2-minute timeout. Well, maybe not. They're hustling to the line. Down to 3, down to 2, and no, that's just hard count action for Gronowski.
Yeah, try to get a free 5 there
This is the
before
timeout.
expiring.
A lot of people in Piscataway and around this state that were excited to congregate here tonight, and they have been entertained in front of a blackout crowd on a Friday night. Iowa and Rutgers blow for blow offensively. Kirk Ferentz last week passed Ohio State legend Woody Hayes for the most wins in Big Ten history, and accepting that honor, going through the swarm for the first time ever. It's something that Hayden Fry, his mentor, who originally hired him as an assistant at Iowa, started in Iowa City. He said that Kirk Ferentz told us he still hasn't made it through all the messages that came pouring in with all the congratulations with his short week, because he was right back in the office Sunday morning. His offense faces a third down. It's a boot for Gronowski, who beautifully rainbows it out to Moulton. And the drive survives for Iowa with less than 2 minutes.
Really well matched on the back end. That time by Rutgers, but you said it perfectly, Gronowski, just the touch to throw it over the top to find Moulton and to keep him moving in stride, allow him to get a little extra and get out of bounds and stop the clock under 2 minutes. We're back to old school college rules. Clock will restart on the snap when you're out of bounds.
Well, these offenses have been on such a roll that was the first third down attempt for Iowa since their opening drive, 3 and out. And the 3 touchdown drives that followed that. Off a low snap, Gronowski adjusted, and it's Moulton who gets drilled by Jabome.
Good rush. They're trying to keep Gronowski in the pocket. Don't let him get out and use his big body.
It's a give, and Moulton finishes forward, out at the 47.
See if they use a timeout here. Coach Ferentz, where are you? There you are. Yep, he is.
Well, there's his
Couldn't
first
find him on the
half.
sideline. They're the guys in white here at the blackout.
Timeout.
Good awareness of the
Iowa,
situation.
the first of the half. 30 seconds.
The second third down of this 2-minute drive coming up after this 30-second break. Well, Rutgers and Iowa have seen their offense go body blow, body blow, body blow. 21-21 in this first half. And Rutgers has not gotten off the field since an opening drive 3 and out. Bernowski and Iowa just converted a third down and short. This on a 3rd and 3. He rolls it. He throws off target, looking for Vonami, and couldn't put it on the numbers. And now it is punt time for the Hawkeyes.
Well-designed little, that's a rub route on offense, a pick on defense. Well designed by offensive coordinator Tim Lester, and he just missed him. Just missed him at a pick. It was behind him. Big stop. And we'll see what that man, Greg Schiano, dials up here. Punt block. Seeing if they bring the house here or set up a return. They're coming.
Oh,
Didn't touch anybody. He did not touch anybody.
oh, got out of there clear. That would have been a first down for Iowa. Rutgers was off. And DT Sheffield sees it take a Rutgers bounce. And it's touched up. For Rutgers deep in their own territory with 1:14 to go until the break.
Coach Ferentz are rightly mad right there, but also they could probably say on the other sideline that may have simulated a snap.
Let's see what's coming up at the half. Here's Mike Hill.
Coming up on the Liberty Mutual halftime, Illinois and Indiana meeting its ranked opponents for the first time in 75 years tomorrow, while Texas Tech and Utah in a battle for Big 12 supremacy. And former Sooner Jackson Arnold looking for revenge in Norman. Jason and Robert. Make sure you catch me at the half. You know I got the hands. Send it back to you, baby. Let's go.
Hi, RG3.
I've never been mistaken for world-class athlete.
I'm Jason
Track.
Panetti. That's out to the edge. But thank you very much, Mike. Looking forward to the half.
Coach Ferentz is going to use his timeout to try to create a negative play here. Rutgers gets the ball in the second half first.
Yeah, Iowa thinking getting the ball back out for 30 seconds in a 20-21 first half. Every Rutgers drive has gone to the red zone. The one miss was a missed field goal after a penalty wiped off a make. So Iowa's defense, known for its swarming nature, has not been able to slow down Rutgers offense yet tonight. A second down late in the half, and a third down is ahead with a minute to go. And Iowa uses their final timeout. And so will we. Third down ahead on the other side of this break. Rutgers has a third down. Their ball care this year has been excellent. No turnovers. You letting it rip on this third down?
Well, you trust Kaliakmanis without question, the way he's been playing, his decision making. And then by the same token, if you don't convert here, you've got a punt, and I was going to dial up a punt rush.
And that would give Caden Weegan a chance to return it. So they do put it on the ground. Raymond bursting ahead. He's just short.
Just short, yep.
The first down saving tackle from Cohen Intringer. And no timeouts for Iowa to stop it. So Rutgers can dip this down to about 15 seconds.
Yeah, they'll bleed it all the way down. Coach Schiano will bang a timeout here when it's under 1 second on the play clock, and you know, at most come out and maybe a hard count, hard sell something on fourth down, try to get him jump off sides, but he'll punt the ball here.
And this will be a Tom Coughlin direction to his punter. Do not kick the ball to Deshaun Jackson.
Yes. They worked on a bunch of directional kicking in practice yesterday. That's what I would assume
Rutgers,
they would do.
first of the half.
As they
30 seconds.
They'll try to roll one way, kick the other, kick opposite of Weejan. But again, Iowa knows that too, so they can set up all their blocks to defeat that.
Well, and a chance for the Jet. Caden Weejan is tonight's reliable performer, sponsored by AT&T Business. Reliability you can count on. Weejan opened up this game 4 yards deep in his end zone, took it the distance for a touchdown a week after he went 95 yards on a punt return. So he is the man looming back there for Rutgers' punt unit. And this just has to go out of bounds, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely. This is when you're going your quick mode to get rid of it, get it out of bounds. I would imagine what I was going to. Right now they're doubling outside, but anticipate these guys to creep down and come to add into the rush. They typically roll to the right.
Well, Jacob Anderson, the punter for Rutgers, has had the night off so far. First time he's seen the field, and he does get it away cleanly, and it is in play for Weejan. Weejan through the first wave. Uh-oh, he bounces outside after his return earlier. He's got the sideline. He bounces back, and they did kick to him, but the half is over. Zeros on the clock. He got him inside field goal range, but not with enough time to put points on the board.
What's the line? I don't believe what I don't believe they just did that. I don't believe they put the ball in his hands again. Kick it into row 7. This guy is unbelievable. He's done it time and time again. He's done it in the run game. He's caught a pass, punt return, kick return, and put that ball away. Near disaster for Rutgers, but long foul ball and a big smile.
So Caden Weejan just missed another big play for Iowa after opening the night with fireworks. Let's go back to Mike Hill in the studio. He's got the Liberty Mutual half. An attendance record at SHI Stadium for the Big Ten opener tonight. Time to look at our Belfour first half stats. Belfour property restoration and the ball control for Rutgers, almost doubling up the time of possession for Iowa. Big goal for the Scarlet Knights coming in, but after all that, tied at halftime with a quarterback duel between Gronowski and Nathan Kaliak-Manis. Glad you're back with us. Mark Helfrich, Connor Onion, Jen Hale down in the sidelines. This game started with a bang. Caden Weejan with a 100-yard kickoff return touchdown for Iowa. And then Nathan Kaliak-Manis has been terrific at quarterback for Rutgers.
He's been phenomenal. When you add that 100 yards to the offensive output of Iowa, it's 21-21, right? And right back where we started, Iowa definitely got the best of them in the special teams category. Offensive coordinator Kirk Shiraka from Rutgers has gotten probably the best of D coordinator Phil Parker. Play on.
So I'm sure you're sitting at home on the couch
Yes.
or at the bar debating this with your friends at halftime. How close was Caden Weejan on that final play of the half to getting out of bounds or down in field goal range? And it was this late cutback that led to the clock running out.
Yeah, you can see him peek up right there with about 2 on the game clock where he could have gotten out of bounds. Drew Stevens with the big leg, certainly in field goal range. That's one of those things that you hammer and hammer and hammer, and it's so hard to do because, oh, by the way, that guy already returned it over 100 yards for a touchdown.
That you understand the mentality of Weejan all the way there, that anytime he touches the ball, it's time to go score. But keep that in mind as we get deeper into the night, expecting a close game to the finish. That could have been 3 points Iowa's way.
Yes, absolutely. Every point is precious in this matchup.
And I'm sure it was talked about for Rutgers in the locker room.
Don't kick it.
We're not kicking to that guy again. We thought that would happen on the punt and the half. Off we go, second half. The first Big Ten game for Rutgers and Iowa. And this Rutgers offense will get it first off with a fair catch for Ben Black. Moments ago, Jen Hale with Kirk Ferentz.
A tremendous first half for both offenses. Coach Kirk Ferentz, blow for blow, score for score offensively. What have you liked best out of Mark Gronowski tonight?
He's doing a good job leading the team. I thought he's kept his composure. A couple throws he'd probably like to have back, but that's part of the process. He's going to do fine. He's a quality guy.
Meanwhile, defensively, it's been tough to generate stops and negative plays. How do you adjust this half?
Yeah, we haven't gotten the quarterback off his spot at all, so have to find a way to disrupt him a little bit. We're going to have to cover better. Starts up front, though.
Thanks, Coach. Best of luck.
Thanks, Jen.
Well, how about that timing? Got to get to the quarterback a little bit better, and they crush.
The future Hall of Famer just wills it into existence. Man, Max Llewellyn came off the edge. They brought inside backer pressure.
Well, Max Llewellyn is the top-rated draft prospect on Iowa's defense because of his pass rushing skills, but they have not been able to slow down Rutgers' offense yet tonight. Just the one punt and the missed field goal, the only stops Iowa have gotten. And after Iowa shut Rutgers down the first 4 times they played them in the Big Ten. Kaliakmanis felt some heat, still got it away, but back toward the original line of scrimmage. So KJ Duff and Rutgers will see a 3rd down and long in their first touch of the second half.
So brought the nickel off the edge, and that is Graves lined up that time on Taj White and just edges over the top of it to get the pressure. Good job by Kaliakmanis.
And out to the sideline, incomplete. And it looks like Iowa's defense has tightened up at the locker room break. They force a 3 and out, which has been rare against Rutgers this year.
Yeah, Kaliakmanis in rhythm all night long, and started with a miscommunication, a busted protection on that first play. And then the star showed up, Aaron Graves, in a different spot. And now that man is back on the field. I'm guessing he does not touch this punt.
Well, Jacob Anderson, the Rutgers punter, sent it right to the dangerous Caden Weegan. The national return specialist of the year last year has a kick return touchdown tonight. A flag flies. They do kick it to him again, but enough hang time for the fair catch. Now let's check on the marker back at the Rutgers 30.
It's going to be offside here. Getting an uncharacteristic penalties. We'll check with Shiano, see where he wants this added on. Or not.
There's a 39-yard punt, so on the shorter end for Anderson.
Offside. Defense. Number 46. That penalty's declined. First down.
Well, maybe with Weegan back there, even with the shorter punt, you say don't risk it and give it to him.
Yes.
So first 3 and out for Kirk Ferentz's defense against Kaliakmanis in this offense that had the lowest 3 and out rate in the country. Thanks to Tom Fornelli of the Cover 3 podcast for that note. And now Gronowski, this passing game has shown improvement the last 2 weeks.
And he, as Coach Ferentz noted there at halftime, he just missed something. They've had guys open. Offensive coordinator Tim Lester has done a nice job designing plays, both deep and short, that were open. Some of his hardest throws he made with ease. They're starting off in 12 personnel. A hard ball run.
A whole bunch of scrambling and flipping around formationally, and it opened up Kamari Moulton. Back from his shoulder injury and running hard with an 8-yard gain to start the half for Iowa.
A little mid-zone action to the open side has been something they've added. They've run it, the stretch play to the strong side. Watch him press it again. It's the same play they run weak, just a slightly different aiming point, both for the back and the offensive line. 2nd and 2. Dream call here for Tim Lester. Bring pressure.
Jabome from linebacker up there. He strings it out, and Moulton cuts back for a yard. You know, one of the big tests for this Rutgers defense in the first half, could they limit the explosive runs? They did, even with the trenches advantage for Iowa.
Yep, Jabome, you saw it. Daryl Jabome, DJ Jabome, they go by. Really nice job of getting skinny, but maintaining his gap powerfully, getting vertical, and stopping that edge rush.
Moulton, the game-breaking back out. They go with their pass-catching back, Washington, who's spread out 5 wide.
Watch quarterback run here.
It is Gronowski shedding a tackle. Nice stiff arm. And Kirk Ferentz said Gronowski's body reminds him of Andrew Luck. They used that big body for the first down.
Yes, he is physical. And again, almost 240, 239 to be precise. See a nice job that time. Trevor opening up that running lane, and a big Gronowski converting.
That territory would usually be Jazz Patterson territory on 3rd and 1. We did see him go into the tent. Jen has a report upcoming on his status. But it was quarterback run with their powerful running back, with the Hawkeyes looking on that 3rd and short.
Got no edge up top right here if they want to run this weak up top. They'll throw it to the uncovered guy.
Just got it away, wide open. Zach Ortworth, and a first down with nobody home for Rutgers. Big bust for a first down.
They have lost tight ends. We talked about this earlier, and there's another one. They're communicating inside about a pressure, and nobody covers Ortworth. And Iowa in business. Double crossers and an uncovered tight end.
Well, that was an issue for Rutgers in their opening game that they just survived against Ohio. Some busts in the back end. It's Ortworth for 24 yards and a first down. Now off a play fake, and Gronowski just ditches that ball. Jen, what's going on with Jazz Patterson, the Iowa running back?
Yeah, guys, he dinged his right ankle in that first half, got it taped, tried to fight through it on the sideline, ended up limping into the locker room at halftime and got more tape. When he comes back out, you'll see that tape goes almost all the way up to his knee now. I asked Coach about his status for this half. He said, look, he's going to try to go. He doesn't want to sit out. He knows we need him. He is here on the sideline holding his helmet, but he is favoring that right ankle still.
You're right, Jen. That looks like he's wearing a big tube sock of tape. Patterson got banged up. This is Washington, usually in a spot where they might use Patterson, and Rutgers swarms them to bring up 3rd down.
Rutgers fully committed to stop the run here. These last 2 plays, playing man coverage behind it. It's a version of a short yardage defense. You see Jabome's pipes in the backfield, getting him to the ground, set up 3rd and 10.
We asked Jabome this week, who's the best tackler on your defense? And he said, I'm going to have to say DJ Jabome.
Yeah, quoted himself with 3rd person.
His tackle from the middle of that Rutgers defense makes it a 3rd and 10 inside field goal range for Iowa. But thinking touchdown before they give it back to Rutgers. Rushers drop out. Rushers almost still got there as Weegen, a space player for Iowa, is kept out of open space. They gave it to him in the flat. He's shoved out by Walker, and it's a 4th down.
Really nice recognition here by the Rutgers defense of both the down and distance, the line to gain, and who's doing what. You're going to see 21 starts the right side come across on the shallow. They're playing zone. All eyes on the quarterback. Everybody rally to that punt returner, kick returner, get him on the ground.
Drew Stevens is out from 40 yards to try to give Iowa the lead just after halftime. And the booming leg of Stevens misses. Never a question of power with Stevens, but the accuracy has gone awry the past couple weeks. Back-to-back weeks with a miss from that range for Drew Stevens. And Rutgers defense does hold after Iowa marched it down in their first touch of the second half. Still tied, 21 apiece. Early second in the Big Ten opener. Cooper DeJean in the house.
Oh, he was so good. Yeah. Is so good.
Is so good with the Eagles now. Just won the Super Bowl. Big Ten Defensive Back of the Year. He was on the field last time Ethan Kaliak-Manis, the Rutgers quarterback, faced Iowa. That was the infamous fair catch game. It's broken up and incomplete. So Weber was knocked down by Zach Lutmer, and it's 2nd down.
Another pressure that time by defensive coordinator Phil Parker and company to bring the inside backer, and as you said, just the timing of Kaliak-Manis just off, and Lutmer ensures can't finish the catch.
Well, Weber popped. Well, that was the thing about Lutmer. He's the better cover player than Sebastian Castro was. Castro was the big hitter, and Lutmer just sent Weber over to the sideline to get checked out. Kaliak-Manis on a quick drop, his favorite target. Strong is chopped down short of the first, and they'll lead 3 yards on 3rd down to keep the drive going.
Right here, defensive coordinator Phil Parker brings both inside backers, drops both ends. He's going through his blitz Rolodex right here. The tackles widen out. You see 48 Llewellyn right underneath it.
Well, Iowa forced a 3-and-out on the first drive of the half for Rutgers after Rutgers cruised on third downs, 6 of 8 in the first half. Llewellyn was protected and it's knocked down. Lutmer with 2 big plays on that drive, and Iowa has gone back-to-back 3-and-out after they struggled in the first half on defense.
Same pressure again, bringing the Will backer. Turns to a 5-man pressure, playing man coverage behind it, and a clean hook that they won't call, and a swipe of that right arm that time by Lutmer.
So Caden Weegan back to return with Colin Weber, the second tight end for Rutgers, going to the injury tent. And Anderson rolls out, almost got it blocked. There's some contact, and a flag flies. It goes skipping all the way inside the 10 and down to the 4, but the flag is down where Anderson, the kicker, the punter, was contacted.
Yeah, the officials will talk about this. I think this was a rugby punt situation.
There is no foul for running into the kicker. The kicker was outside the tackle box.
So that
the result of the play is a first down.
Now, Alex Eichmann,
Media timeout.
wide receiver playing special teams, ran into Anderson, but Rutgers with a 68-yard punt to flip the field, but their offense will stay on the sideline after the flag was picked up. You make the call. It's debated. Then we'll come back. Fox College Football is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Home and auto coverage you can count on. A record with this blackout crowd tonight in this stadium, 55,942 in a sellout.
Great crowd.
The Scarlet Knights. Drone show, real fireworks, and football fireworks. But this game has chilled out a little bit with the offense.
The defensive coordinator said enough of the fireworks. Let's tamp this thing down. The student section's fired up right behind this Iowa unit. Vonami and the large in here now in 12 personnel, 1 back, 2 tight ends.
After a 67-yard punt from Rutgers, and that is stuck at the line. Abram Wright makes the hit on Moulton, and nothing doing for Iowa on their first play, backed up.
Bradley Weaver right there, 94, getting in the backfield as we have a Scarlet Knight
for an injured defensive player.
Billett, I believe.
Oliver Billett, the senior from Clearfield, Pennsylvania, on the interior of the Rutgers defensive line.
These two coaches wouldn't really have it any other way, man. It feels like they want to turn this into an inside run drill.
Which is more what we expected, not the deep passing game that we saw the first 7 drives. That was wide open offense. But those final couple of drives of the first half and into the second half, 4 punts, 2 missed field goals.
Rutgers adding their defender to the box, playing man coverage. Iowa thus far in the second half, 6 snaps, 5 pressures, 5 blitzes.
Well, Billett still down on Greg Schiano's defense. And they're now up with the training staff headed to the Rutgers sideline. Well, Rutgers needs all those guys in that defensive tackle rotation going 3 deep at that spot against this physical Iowa front. They have held their own, holding Iowa under 100 yards rushing so far. Trying to turn that special teams play into getting the ball right back to their offense after the first down stick on Moulton.
Defensive injury there, so a full 40-second play clock.
Weegan, the motion man. He's a decoy. And another run stop for Rutgers. Moulton just a couple of yards. Abram Wright has gotten him twice.
Yep.
And Rutgers real happy to have him back healthy after he missed the first game and last year.
Backup backer, 6'1", 221. As you said, the compliment nicely to Moses Walker and Jabome, who they need that depth. These guys play so hard, so physical. They're not huge guys. Third down, get the student section going.
How much does Iowa trust the right arm of Mark Gronowski on a third down and long with his heels in the end zone? He looks to run, and he's swung down. Rutgers front stands up in a big way on that stop. Eric O'Neill forces a 3-and-out.
Eric O'Neill, former JMU. They show us a five-man pressure to Gronowski. He says we can pick that up on the quarterback draw, but the line game gets to him. And the effort of 99, Eric O'Neill, just 261 on that 240-pound quarterback.
Big prove-it night for O'Neill facing Jennings Dunker, the right tackle for Iowa, who many consider the best run blocker in the Big Ten. And he raced right inside against Dunker and gets the ball back to Rutgers. Defenses have come to play, flipping that first half script, 21-all. Well, first two drives of the second half for Rutgers. The passing game has evaporated thanks to Iowa's tight coverage. So can they get Antoine Raymond going, the running back? He's tonight's Above and Beyond, sponsored by Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above. Kyle Monangai, record-breaking back for Rutgers, now with the Chicago Bears. Raymond has actually been better by yards per carry than Monangai to start the year, and Iowa's ready for him in his first carry of this touch for the Scarlet Knights.
Defensive coordinator Phil Parker has just committed to the pressure. Brought the boundary backer. It's 43 Shire every 5 of 6 snaps, now 6 of 7 snaps. They brought some pressure. He's got something he likes to that side, something dialed in. It's making the back stay in protection. It's making Raymond earn every bit of it. What that does is also force the quarterback to pull the ball and get tackled by that backside backer who'd be in a coverage position.
Play clock inside 5 as Kaliakmanis gets it off. Firing away, deep downfield, and they connect deep down the field again. NFL prospect Ian Strong showing why. In traffic with a big hitter.
St. Anthony's own. Watch this ball location. Doesn't leave him a lot of room, but Kaliakmanis just drops it in the mailbox. That is a big-time play. You can see Deshaun Lee doing everything he can to fight for it. Big-time play.
And it's a 4th straight 100-yard game receiving for Ian Strong, getting 43, beating Deshaun Lee. Here's Raymond to the edge, and bounced off one hit. And he's down after a 2-yard pickup that was hard earned.
You're earning every inch right now, the way this Iowa defense is deployed and this Rutgers defense is deployed. It is a big-time challenge. And it looks like, is that Tyler Needham down? That is not good news. Rutgers already without Dante Chin, without Ryder Langsdale.
That came a play after Ian Strong made a little Rutgers history, but Tyler Needham was questionable coming in, left tackle down. So good offense against good defense. The headline of this game coming in, these two units that are on the field right now with terrific offensive and defensive coordinators, with Kirk Ciarrocca for Rutgers and Phil Parker, the defensive coordinator for Iowa. And Phil Parker has owned that matchup at 4 different schools for Kirk Ciarrocca: Western Michigan, Penn State, Minnesota, and Rutgers. Phil Parker has beaten him head-to-head all 7 times.
There's a lot of guys on that list, Coach Ciarrocca.
Kirk Ciarrocca has Called a terrific game tonight. He dials it up in the red zone with an incomplete pass. One-on-one coverage with TJ Hall. Stride for stride with KJ Duff.
KJ Duff, TJ Hall, one-on-one. We're going to be saying this all night. Looked like he just needs to rip that left hand out of there. Don't let him hold your wrist. Get two hands up. You know, they're not going to call that, but certainly could have ripped that left arm through. That's pretty good tempo on that ball by Kaliakmanis.
Rutgers thinking 6.
Zero pressure.
Iowa 0 for their last 4 on defense, getting off the field. Kaliakmanis underneath, and the back trips. He had Max Llewellyn running with him, and Jayshon Benjamin planted for a 4th down, and Iowa makes it 5 in a row on 3rd down where they get off.
Showing zero blitz. He checked to this rollout, got what they wanted, and just made Benjamin adjust his path. If he keeps him flat, and that's what he's saying right there. Let him run out of it. Well defended, good disguise. They punched out that front side backer.
We've seen both field goal kickers miss tonight to keep this game level at 21. Jay Patel missed after 18 straight makes, a Rutgers record. And this from 29, and it's blocked. Iowa, for a 2nd time on special teams, comes up with a huge play. Ethan Hurkett, their star defensive end, surging up the line.
A ton of penetration. Watch 4 jump over the top. Multiple players inside had a chance at this, and a great spot by you. 49 Hurkett, star defensive end. Greg Schiano was asking about maybe a leaping situation, but again, it has to land on a player, and he avoided through a gap. That's certainly what he's asking about on that sideline.
So special teams tonight. We've seen a kickoff return touchdown, seen a missed field goal and a blocked field goal. And by the way, hands not feet. The differentiator on that being leaping or not. So Iowa with the clean block, and Mark Gronowski rolls out, and he has eyes for the sticks, and a 1st down for the Hawkeyes.
Really good, just like the first play of the game last week. They're taking a shot, it was covered. Gronowski became a runner. Just the experience right there, the recognition. The route was covered this time downfield. Great reaction. 1st and 10.
Kirk Ferentz, the Iowa head coach, said that he wants Gronowski in the 6 to 10 attempt range with his running.
Late sub here by Iowa, and they're going to have to use a timeout.
Game that's been
timeout.
Yeah, I
Iowa,
want to keep those in this one.
Played within a possession all night and showing no signs of getting away either way. Well, beautiful thing about a Friday night, we get to kick back tomorrow and watch Big Noon Kickoff. When we get off the plane, start your Saturday strong with Big Noon Saturday. Texas Tech and Utah battling for the top of the Big 12. It all kicks off at 10 Eastern with Big Noon Kickoff live from Salt Lake City. And it's Texas Tech, Utah, only on Fox. Cannot wait. Texas Tech headlines all offseason with how much money they spent on their roster. Experienced quarterback Baron Morton. And we saw Utah.
Yes.
We had that game week 1.
Speaking of great offensive lines.
Yeah. Man, that's
Mr. Fano.
Spencer Fano, right tackle for Utah. Him and Jennings Dunker, the Iowa tackle, who we're seeing here tonight, those are the best 2 returning run blockers in the country. So if you like offensive line play, you like tonight, and you like tomorrow watching Texas Tech and Utah. And Moulton straight ahead. And tripped up.
That's our guy O'Neal again, just chasing it down on the backside. Instead, met with defensive coordinator Rob Smith from Rutgers. He said we've got to get aligned to all the different formations, fit the scheme, whether it's stretch, whether that mid-zone play, whether it's counter, and then attack and tackle. Easier said than done right there. Great job.
I got the sense Rob Smith was not very happy with how his team has played run defense. essentially said nobody's playing well up there right now. And Moulton is twisted down. We asked him, who's playing the best up there in run defense right now? And he said, I don't mean to dodge the question, but nobody and everybody was the answer.
Yeah, right. Nobody's playing well enough. We all have to tackle better. We all have to play better. Right there, Jabome was the runner who recognized right there. It was a counter play, a scheme that they had a ton of issues with in their first 3 games. 3rd and 2.5.
The defenses have cranked it up on 3rd downs out of halftime. Inside 2 minutes in the 3rd. Iowa on 3rd and 2. It's Gronowski protected. Lofting to the sideline, complete to Weegan, who spins off the hit. And the drive carries on for the Hawkeyes, looking for another lead.
Really nice patience this time by Mark Gronowski. Keep saying that word with him, patience, decision-making in the run game right here. It's in the pass game. They bring it 5, gets locked down. Logan Jones, really nice job matching that up. Allows 21 Weegan to work his little option route. 1st down.
Well, the only player in Iowa history, Caden Weegan, with a punt return touchdown, kick return touchdown, rushing and receiving touchdown. He has hit the touchdown grand slam for the Hawkeyes. And we've seen him in a bunch of different spots tonight. Play fake on a deep drop. And underneath, Ortworth turns the corner, but he is tripped up before Elad let him get into the 2nd level.
Really nice job again, Gronowski realizing where his outlet is. Ortworth to the boundary, flat there. Trying to get a big one going to the field. The edge pressure right up in the center that time. Quickly to the flat.
Gronowski 9 of 13. He's also rushed for 32 yards and a touchdown. So his better play through the air has carried over from last week. It's McNeil, the freshman back. And that ball is still in his hands. Juggled a little bit. There's a flag out at the end of the run for McNeil. Looked like a face mask. Gain
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense, number 7. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Automatic. 1st down.
A gain of 10. Tag on more on the Cam Miller face mask.
Cam Miller, the
correction, half the distance to the goal.
Yep, half the distance there. The Penn State transfer, no doubt about that, into the helmet opening initially. Then a face mask, even on the visor. Logan Jones got away with a little bit of a veteran hold on that last play. Just a little left-hand tug.
But 42 first half points. 0 3rd quarter points. But Iowa is threatening. Mark Gronowski on the headset, strategizing with Tim Lester, his offensive coordinator. Into the red zone when you come back for the 4th quarter in the Big Ten opener. Well, Mark Gronowski admitted his first 2 starts, he was nervous. He wanted to prove to this new fan base at Iowa that he was the guy. Last 2 games, it's been much better.
It really has. Gronowski, that's probably his hardest throw of the day on the run, finding Moulton in stride. That's where he found Ortworth wide open. Got this drive with Weegan, and then he's done a great job with the ground game, using his legs, using his physicality to set the table right now.
Surprised Brad Banks never did that. Yeah. Heisman runner-up. What Gronowski has done, rushing for a touchdown like he has. Gronowski out of pressure on a 1st down in the red zone, and he benches it. And it's 2nd down.
That was some sort of miscommunication. That was either a screen. All the receivers were downfield blocking.
Timeout for a defensive injured player.
That's Walker.
Moses Walker is the injured player after Gronowski threw this ball away.
Normally, if this happens, you're throwing something behind the line of scrimmage, or obviously a run play. Sometimes they bring that shallow all the way behind the line of scrimmage, or a screen.
Moses Walker, their communicator at the linebacker spot, is down on the turf for the Scarlet Knights. Well, the principles of Iowa and Rutgers, like looking in the mirror, so is the score line through 3 quarters. Unfortunate moment there for Moses Walker, who went down for Rutgers on this blitz of Gronowski.
Yeah, coming off the edge, Gronowski just makes him miss, and they're working on that the right leg right there. Gosh, it's never good when you change direction, and it's a non-contact type of situation. Hey, there are no good injuries, but certainly not that. But this dude from Staten Island, he is tough, plays his tail off. Both those linebackers, a ton of juice they bring to this defense.
Walker missed the 2023 season injured. Came back last year and has been one of the surest tacklers to start this season. Staten Island native Moses Walker back up on his feet.
They called him the loud one, right, on defense. He's the loud one, gets everybody going. And see, Coach Schiano was out there with him. Worst part about our great game, and then you got to tee it up and go.
The emotional juice that Moses Walker provides, coupled with seeing your teammate go down, and Greg Schiano, as he always does, says keep chopping. That's their mantra here since he came back in 2020. They're looking for a red zone stop without their best tackler, Moses Walker. Gronowski communicating to that bunch, has what he likes on 2nd and 10. It's an inside run for Moulton, who couldn't keep his track past the 8-yard line. But let's make this 3rd and better for Iowa.
Yes, sure looked like a false start. You can see the whole sideline. Abram right on the field was asking for it. Looked like that left side of the offensive line jumped, but they also got the runoff on that play that this offensive line is known for. Literally running off the line.
Abram Wright replaced Moses Walker, the injured Scarlet Knight. And without Walker, Rutgers facing a 3rd and 5 as Iowa tries to take the lead after they started this night on a kick return touchdown by Weegan. Play fake, nothing there. Now it is there, but it's short. Oh, Gronowski, if he could put it on Ortworth, had an untouched score.
This is the 2nd time Tim Lester has dialed up Ortworth uncovered in space, this time for 6. Watch what he does here. Works a little delay route to the opposite side of the field. That's the one, man. You just got to finish. Gronowski he probably can't believe he's that open. You got to drill it, and trust it. Obviously frustrated.
So Iowa will play for the lead from 26 out with Drew Stevens. And Stevens has Iowa back in front. Less than a minute into the 4th quarter. Content with 3, but it should have been more. Iowa back in front, but it should have been by a touchdown after the Gronowski miss.
Back in Piscataway, watch 55 Zaire Angoy with a get up, and I don't think he touched that ball. It was really close on the miss from Gronowski to Ortworth, but he'll be telling that story if they come back and win this game. Absolutely, I got a piece of that.
Angoy will, right?
Oh,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, we saw that a little bit with Gronowski, especially in that first game against Albany. A lot of stuff short.
Yes.
It crept up on him again there.
Albany, that drag route in the end zone, that just should have just been a celebratory opening drive. Wide open guy to the turf.
Well, the Drew Stevens field goal did put Iowa in front. The first points of the 2nd half after this was wide open offense. The first 7 drives of the game. So Rutgers has gone 3 and out since halftime. And that's major news for the Iowa defense after it was just a straight on march every time Rutgers had it in the first half.
Vice grips by this Iowa defense. Phil Parker, defensive coordinator, has done a phenomenal job dialing up the pressure, playing a ton of man coverage outside, and they're You know, as we talked about earlier, they're forcing the issue for these officials to you know, define pass interference and holding in the second half and make Kaliakmanis and company be uncomfortable with contested catches.
Negative yardage since the half, and now back into the green. Kaliakmanis' security blanket has been Ian Strong, who's over 100 yards, and he has a first down.
Right on the edge of Wampa, number 1. Really nice rhythm throw, and what do? Brought it backer, rushed 5, played tight coverage, good execution.
Another quick drop, another one to Strong. He's free of the tackle. Lutmer finally runs him down. When you got nothing going, trust your NFL prospects. Ian Strong, back-to-back chain movers.
Really nice design here by offensive coordinator Kirk Ciarrocca. Just a little seam route, presented himself. In Strong 6'3", Duff 6'6", big time guys, big physical receivers that Kaliakmanis trusts everywhere.
Well, Strong's health mark dramatically changed the outlook of this game. And questionable at the start of the night after missing last week. First drive that's moved in the second half. It's been all through the air. Oh, man. Those are the traffic skills that have teams at the next level excited about Strong.
What do we say about trust? Big time play. Watch this throw. Kaliakmanis is eyeballing Wampa while getting whomped. And as you said, big time catch, staying nice and flat on top in front of one Wampa. Big time throw, big time catch, take a shot, first down.
Well, 3 straight completions to Ian Strong. All have gone for first downs after negative 4 yards in the half before this drive. It's a deep ball. It is broken up. They went away from Strong to Duff this time. And Deshaun Lee was up for it in coverage for Iowa.
8 on 8. We've been waiting for this matchup. We talked about it all week. There it is, 8 on 8. That's one of those ones where Kaliakmanis will say, man, I should have been 6 inches inside and short, but that's when you can't miss short because KJ Duff 8 went inside. Now that kind of throws off the angle for the quarterback a little bit. Not as much room to work a conventional fade to the outside.
We saw Gronowski miss short on a potential touchdown. Kaliakmanis short on that throw, and right back on target. He rewards that same matchup. It was Lee against Duff again, and right at the marker for 10 yards and a first down.
Big physical, big time play, big physical at the line of scrimmage by Deshaun Lee. Just better execution. That's one-on-one in the summertime, one-on-one through fall camp. Your best guy, my best guy. Let's go.
8 inches of height, the advantage for KJ Duff against Deshaun Lee. 6'6" against 5'10". And Kaliakmanis back to an in-breaking route. Was that caught? That was. Oh, man, defender draped all over Duff. And he broke away from Hall somehow for an 8-yard gain.
One of the covering officials up top, I think he started signaling complete. He's like, there's no way this guy caught it. Looked like he was getting held and uses one hand. He's holding the wrist as he goes to the sideline. There's back shoulder, that's a back knee on the slant. Great play.
Can't cover that any better.
No. Is a sluggo coming? Some sort of slant and go? Double move.
Back-to-back slants, and Raymond on the ground charges his way for a first down and goal for Rutgers.
And that's what you got to stop, right? The RPO first is run. I think they've done a great job tonight. A predetermined drop-back pass that makes Iowa play just a half step slow. Just so much preparation goes into this RPO system. They're going with tempo.
Another run for Raymond. First window not open. Second window to the outside, and he almost got there. The reach for Raymond got him a yard short.
Slow mesh RPO action here. and it seemed like Raymond was going for a tackle for loss. Then he thought it was to be a touchdown. Big time stop that time by Shire.
Well, Iowa should have had a touchdown on the goal line on a third down. A short throw from Gronowski put 3 instead of 7 up on the board. Now Rutgers on second and the doorstep of the end zone.
Under 15.
A yard away from getting the lead back. Kaliakmanis still looks to the sideline with 5 on the play clock. Now he's ready to go. It's Raymond. It's a touchdown. Second score tonight for Raymond. And Rutgers leads in the 4th quarter.
Zone read. He's reading this player outside the tight end. Freezing it right there, playing quarterback. There's 2 outside. That's a give. Somebody has Raymond. One of those defenders has to be on the running back. One for the quarterback. Great job right there by Kaliakmanis. What happened in the red zone earlier? 2 quarterback runs. That time 2 guys played Kaliakmanis. Nobody on the running back. Advantage, decision-making quarterback.
You can see that unblocked edge defender Jackson Rexroth.
He's frozen. He's frozen.
Yeah. The sign of indecision as he twisted around trying to stop Raymond on his trot into the end zone. Kaliakmanis set him up with an efficient drive with Strong and Duff. Then the running game charges ahead by 4. Well, Iowa's defense had held Rutgers to negative yardage in the half until a 9-play, 75-yard drive and a lead for Rutgers.
Really impressive drive. Great mix of run, of pass, of types of run and pass by offensive coordinator Kirk Ciarrocca. And Raymond with his 2nd rush TD tonight to match the 2 of Kaliakmanis in the first half.
Well, previous 4 drives going back to the first half, just 62 yards. And 75 yards and a touchdown on that last one. Bobble Washington forgot the ball, and he's down at the 20, securing possession for Iowa. Covering Mark Gronowski for a few years, even at South Dakota State, he said one of his favorite drives of his career, as Washington gets on top of this, one of the favorite drives of Gronowski's career was his first ever start. He played poorly. South Dakota State had a chance to go win it, and he flushed everything and was able to lead the Jackrabbits down and win it. He needs to do that like he's done so many times in his career as the winningest quarterback in D1 history after a throw that he missed last drive.
Yeah, this is the first play, the first play of the drive after that miss. That's where you're just locked in on this moment, this play, and that'll result in those 51 wins.
He's on the roll, and he's on target. So looks like he was able to flush it right back to being accurate to Jacob Gill and a first down.
Really nice job. Offensive coordinator Tim Lester dialing up the one. This is a deep comeback built on the front side of this route. Really nice job. Jacob Gill selling it vertical push. And as you said, a throw and catch dime by Gronowski.
Well, a chance at more history for Gronowski tonight if he can lead his team back. His 52nd win would be the most at any level in college football history, passing Cullen Finnerty, who played quarterback for Brian Kelly at Grand Valley State. And it's Moulton slammed to the turf by Jabomi after 5 yards, and it's 2nd down for the Hawkeyes. Well, another Rutgers defender is down. It's Bradley Weaver. The transfer from Ohio.
Quarterbacks going up against each other. Both grew up about an hour and a half from each other in the, it's not really the suburbs. I guess Naperville is a suburb, and then about an hour and a half north. Gronowski from Naperville, Illinois. Kaliakmanis from Antioch.
I think Gronowski has had Kaliakmanis' number 2-0 and 7-on-7s growing up. Never played in a real game.
And yes, they absolutely kept score of everything. Yes.
Bradley Weaver continues to get attention.
Yeah, he went down immediately. He's chasing these things down, man. These D linemen, these guys have to work so hard in this system. You're chasing these stretch plays, trying to sprint while getting blocked by the likes of Jennings Dunker is not easy.
We've seen Rutgers already lose Oliver Billett, who went over to the sideline last defensive drive. Same with Moses Walker, their linebacker.
showing off his elite hair.
Bradley Weaver, the senior from Hilliard, Ohio, up on his feet for Rutgers. Jennings Dunker in this offense for Iowa back to work on a 2nd down and 5. Keep in mind as this drive in this quarter goes on, when they've needed big plays, usually when they call the run, Dunker is involved somehow, whether pulling or off his right tackle spot when Iowa needs big yardage.
12 personnel, one back, 2 tight ends.
It's a play fake. Miller coming. Gronowski escapes Cam Miller. The first time he got by him, not the second. Miller stayed in pursuit for the sack to bring up 3rd down.
Can't describe it any better than that. 7 coming off the edge to the offensive right. He is basically scot-free. The only guy that had a chance on him was Vanami. And just great relentless effort this time by Cam Miller. Miss you once, come back on it. See that ball dangling around against this Rutgers defense. Usually pops out. Showing a 5-man pressure here.
Massive 3rd down after the sack. Gronowski on the move. Gronowski into coverage. A flag is out. Miller, who had the sack, busted it up on Gill, but a flag at the 45.
I think it's going to be holding on Salam. 21 is where the flag is.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 21. 10-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
Really had no effect on the play with the edge pressure getting to Gronowski, but here it is. Correction, corner, there it is. He ended up on that hash, no doubt about it.
Tugged at the jersey of Dayton Howard, and instead of the punt team coming on, the holding away from the coverage has Iowa approaching midfield with a 1st down. Salam, their 3rd corner. They get Bo Masco and Jacoby Henderson back in there at the corners for Rutgers. Their top 2 cover guys. Pressure coming. Iowa runs away from it, and the guy that was pressuring, Kaj Sanders, makes the tackle on Moulton.
Moulton is a quote-unquote little guy, right? 205. He is powerful. See the edge, that edge player. It was Sanders coming off the edge, just running through it for a gain of 5, hit originally at the line of scrimmage. Big time run.
We saw Jazzy and Patterson on the sideline for Iowa, their 2nd running back that Jen reported on. We have not seen him in the half. This is McNeil back in the game, spread out at running back. Gronowski taking a shot. Howard had separation, and he reels it in. Dayton Howard using all of his 6'5" wingspan to go get it for a 1st down.
Dayton Howard on their best cover guy, Jacoby Henderson. The slot fade, great route, just outruns him. And another big time throw. Henderson in decent position, definite firm control. The ball hits the ground as it's protected by that right forearm, no doubt about it, from Gronowski.
Howard had 11 yards on the season before that 42-yard catch. And Gronowski playing option football. Didn't pitch it, keeps himself, and he's down toward the goal line. Can still get a 1st down in that direction. And he's a football shy of the 1st down.
Been waiting for this play to come off this complimentary look. They brought Caden Nugent in there and faked this. That time he was the pitch guy. And the option look, Gronowski didn't like it. So he went one-on-one with Elad, 2nd and 1.
Clock drips inside 6 minutes. Iowa with 3 points since halftime. Should have had 7 last time down. What do they have this time? They have a walk-in for the lead with Gronowski. A dime on the deep ball. And bloody elbow and all. Gronowski says, where's the crowd at? After he gives Iowa the lead.
Well, it's the exact same play. They're going to come down here and run a zone read version. Everybody all over the Kamari Moulton part of this production. The time before, there were 2 on the quarterback and the handoff. That time, the right decision by Gronowski. Your ball, Ethan.
Stevens makes it a 3-point lead. So record crowd here at Rutgers tonight. Gronowski silences them. And right in front of the student section, after his big throw to Howard, he had something to say with his celebration. Hand to ear after his walk-in touchdown. And Iowa's back in front looking for 1-0 in the Big Ten opener. Fox College Football is sponsored by Wendy's. Get Wendy's $8 JBC meal deal. Limited time only. Mark Gronowski thanking his guys after they had the push to get him around the edge for a walk-in touchdown after he threw an absolutely perfect ball to Dayton Howard to set up the 8-play, 80-yard scoring drive, and Iowa leads by 3.
Yeah, some of the hardest throws he makes look easy, some of the easy throws. You just wonder, you don't wonder whether or not it's going to be a touchback going that direction. And here's another look at just the dime throw to Dayton Howard. Defense coordinator Phil Parker talked about, hey, we got some tall receivers too. He brought up Dayton Howard and the preparation. There's the slot fade. Just a beautiful throw, great adjustment, great concentration. You can see Henderson gets his hand on him, ripping the wrist. And that's a first down.
Well, that was tonight's Good Hands moment, sponsored by Allstate, celebrating 20 years of the Allstate Good Hands Nets program. Howard set it up. Gronowski scored. Iowa leads it by 3. Now it's Kaliak-Maniscalco after he led a go-ahead drive last time and can't fit it in the hole on the corner route. Incomplete on the first play of this Rutgers drive, chasing 3.
TJ Hall just baited him to throw that ball. That's that boundary high-low version of a smash concept they run over and over again. That's where just take the short one, make him earn it. The vet TJ Hall. That was a veteran move right there.
Well, it's been an all-or-nothing night for Rutgers offense. Started the night with 3 straight touchdown drives. It then went cold. Had -4 yards out of halftime until that last drive. And they went 75 yards for 7 points. Raymond, nice jump cut in the hole, but he is sandwiched down right after that cut. And a 3rd down and long has arrived for the Scarlet Knights after the Herald tackle.
They're down and long, and they bring on the pass rushing group. Herkett and Llewellyn check in here at defensive end to get after Kaliak-Manis. Rexroth checks in for Harrell, a little bit better cover guy in this situation.
We've seen Llewellyn top of the defensive line in a 2-point stance, already get home tonight for a sack. And now he crouches into a 3-point track stance. And he almost got there. Ball goes fluttering, and it's intercepted. Llewellyn had the pressure around the edge. And it leads to a fluttering ball for Jackson Rexroth to pick off. And Iowa finally has their takeaway.
First down, Iowa.
Their first takeaway of the season on defense, in part due to Max Llewellyn's heat.
The pressure comes here. Just basically runs around that time. It's Taj White, an incredible effort by both Llewellyn to get and affect Kaliak-Manis, and then we'll confirm that this ball is caught. It sure looked like it live. Absolutely, both wrists underneath it. Llewellyn knows how huge that was.
Well, Llewellyn told us this week, it's time for the varsity. Non-conference is gone. He knows everybody's watching. He came in very motivated tonight, and he's made 2 big plays in the half, including getting Iowa their first true takeaway on defense of the season, and Rutgers' first turnover on offense of the year. So plus territory, and Moulton charges out of a couple of arm tackles and is ahead for a first down.
Just a gash run right here. This is a version of counter, pulling the guard and the backside tight end. Big time gash. Great job by Moulton with his ball, I'm sorry, not with his ball security right there at the end, as I was starting to say. Lucky.
Well, Sanders almost punched it out at safety for Rutgers. Well, we've seen some attrition for Rutgers.
Incredible answer right there.
Seen some attrition for Rutgers. 3 defensive starters have gone down in this half. Can they hold and keep it a one-score game? Gronowski out of that tackle. We're starting to see those legs drive, and Iowa slippery on back-to-back carries. Gronowski with 9 yards on that hit.
Offensive coordinator Tim Lesher just settles him down, says, hey, we're just gonna token fake this. That was a quarterback run all the way. All hands on deck to get the big boy down.
Iowa traditionally a ball control team. They see the clock go to 3 minutes 30 seconds. Standing between the Hawkeyes and 1-0 in the Big Ten. A lot of people's sleeper team to go to the college football playoff at the start of the year. We've got to get this one first before all those ranked games to come. Patient run, Gronowski, first down. This game for Rutgers, similar importance. The helmet came off for Elad because the gauntlet is as hard as anybody in the Big Ten after this. They have Oregon here. They go on the road at the end of the year. They see #1 Ohio State and Penn State back to back. So this is one Rutgers has to get, and Gronowski has made it real tough with his season high in passing.
Yeah, huge game for both teams. Obviously the Big Ten opener, and then as you said, with their respective schedules coming up, it just gets more and more difficult in this conference. It gets better and better. And obviously for that man right now, Greg Schiano must hold Iowa to a field goal. Utilize his timeouts around, using the 2-minute timeout as well.
2 minutes, 40 seconds. Iowa by 3 with the big bodies in there. It's Moulton cutting to the outside. Real estate out there. Vicious stiff arm. And he drags Masco down to the 2 and a timeout for Rutgers.
Rutgers uses their first, yep. Great job bouncing that by Moulton. You saw just gets wadded up on the front side. Again, a version of counter. And he bounces it. Maybe the game-saving tackle. Maybe the drive stopper. Bo Masco, 3, running it down.
A yard shy of the first down. Still the 2-minute timeout to come. Iowa prides itself on its front. They have for years, and on its run game. They've got a prove-it 1.5 yards to take a 2-score lead right now.
Right now, this is where Coach Ferentz on there talking about which of their favorite runs. Very surprised that this ever left Gronowski's hands in some way, shape, or form, whether it's his own run or certainly quarterback sneak.
The 2 rushing touchdowns tonight for the Iowa quarterback, including the go-ahead score last trip down here. This was all set up by the Rex Roth interception on the pressure from Max Llewellyn in the face of Kaliakmanis. The length of Howard coming across the formation. It is in the hands of Gronowski, squeezing his way toward the goal line, and he's down at the half-yard line, but it is a first down.
Yep, inside the 1, first and goal.
Rutgers, their second of the half. 30 seconds.
QB lead all the way, as you said, just a token flash. QB counter, sorry. As you see, big 70, Bo Stevens, Ortworth pulling, getting in front of the big boy. And that's why he does that token fake, to allow the pullers to get in front of him. And it's almost kind of a I guess at this point, if you're going to obviously want to stop them, if your record that it happens faster.
You're thinking about letting them score?
Well, you're not letting them score, but I'm just saying on that last play, it's almost a benefit to Iowa to not score.
So I guess the question is, would you let them score?
There's at this point, there's still a lot that can happen. Certainly at 2:15 at timeout, plus the 2-minute timeout.
We've seen some of that defensive line depth for Rutgers get tested with Weaver and Billett leave the game. Also Moses Walker, one of their best linebackers. Can Iowa bully their way to a 2-score lead? It's Gronowski, and he's got the 2-score lead on his 3rd rushing touchdown of the night. Stevens out to attempt to make it Iowa by 10, and he is perfect. That was like a Springsteen concert. Mosh pit down there at the goal line.
It was a mosh pit, and then a dance party in the end zone, then a dance party on the sideline. The motion behind the 240-pound quarterback is 88. Hayden Large, so he adds another 250, so 500 pounds into your end zone. And Gronowski letting them know this Rutgers team ain't done fighting yet.
Well, all that after the throw that he missed short. He shook it off, and since the throw that he missed, back-to-back scoring drives and 2 rushing touchdowns for the quarterback for the Hawkeyes.
We've seen the big-time throw to Dayton Howard many times with his feet. Kamari Moulton done a tremendous job. Him back healthy is a huge difference maker.
This is the type of quarterback play that Iowa fans have been starving for since Nate Stanley in 2019, and really since C.J. Beathard. It was their last All-Big Ten quarterback in 2015 before the NFL. Then there was some disappointment for both Gronowski and the fan base.
Yeah, the opener was tough, man.
Yeah.
No two ways about it. But
and then you lose to a rival. And Gronowski has answered it after those rocky first 2 games. A fair catch. So Rutgers with 2:14 and 1 timeout. An unstoppable offense at times tonight. But Kaliakmanis now has to brush off his first pick of the year.
Brush off the first pick, and then they gotta do something here to help out their offensive line. Just beat up. You see 59 Zelinskis inside. Try to see. Yeah, Needham is back in there at left tackle. And this is where these pass rushers, man, they get dialed up, and they know 1 sack at this point in this game is very difficult to overcome.
Kaliakmanis ahead of the 2-minute timeout. Saw some pressure and throws it at the feet of Ian Strong. The pass rush has turned up late in this game for Iowa.
It has. Jalen Watson there basically running the route for him. Really nice job. Just a trail, basically playing almost like a 2-man technique there in trail mode, running the route for Strong. That was a safe spot by Kaliakmanis. Incompletion like that doesn't kill you at this point at all.
Well, Llewellyn standing up, top of the line of scrimmage. Kaliakmanis given time, and he rushes one in for a first down. That was a strike to KJ Duff, and that should take us to the 2-minute timeout, and it does. 1 timeout inside 2 minutes. Ethan Kaliakmanis against his former rival when he was at Minnesota. After this, down 10.
Hey, inside our LA studios, Mike Hill along with Bruce Feldman and Chris Peterson. A battle of ranked Big 12 teams tomorrow on Fox. Texas Tech at Utah. 2 good offensive teams, and we're saying that about Utah right now. What do you like in this game?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm excited to see Utah's defense versus the #1 scoring offense in the country, Texas Tech Red Raiders. You know, I think the one thing about Kyle Whittingham, when he thinks he has a good team, he thinks he has a very good defense. And defense is the DNA of this program. Kyle Whittingham was a defensive coordinator back in the day. The coach in waiting, Morgan Scalley's the defensive coordinator. It's always going to start with defense there. And so far, that defense is off to an excellent start, giving up 8 points a game. And really, their bread and butter is their third down defense. 22% offenses are only converting. So it's going to be a heck of a game, and I can't wait to see it.
They're going to need it because Tech's the highest scoring team in the nation, best point differential as well. Hey, other notable games include 9th-ranked Illinois at number 19, Indiana, also battle of ranked SEC teams with Auburn and Oklahoma, plus 21st-ranked Michigan on the road at Nebraska. That's going to be a good one in the Big Ten as well. But let's talk about Illinois, Indiana. Bruce, what do you like in this game and why?
I'm fascinated to see what happens with Fernando Mendoza. He has played really, really well. Now, haven't played anybody yet. Schedule's been really weak. Came from Cal. He has been really sharp. I can see why the NFL scouts are really intrigued by him. Now he's going to get this Illinois defense. Now, look, they did turn over when they played Darian Mensah at Duke. They turned him over 3 times, 2 fumbles and a pick. But this defense has given up a bunch of big plays. They've given up 8 pass plays of 20 yards or more, which is near the bottom of the Big Ten. Mendoza has the receivers, playing with a lot of confidence, and they execute really well. Can't wait to see this matchup.
And they got Cooper, Serrata receiving. Their running game is also really good. They're averaging over 300 rushing yards per game. Should be a good one in the Big Ten. We'll be with you all day tomorrow for a full slate of college football right here on Fox.
Well, middle line tells the story of this second half. Rutgers went from unstoppable to 3 and out to start the half, and Iowa found its footing defensively.
Yeah, just turned up the heat by this Iowa defense, and it really affected every aspect of the offense. Kaliakmanis has thrown the ball extremely well at times, struggled at times, and now the money's on the line. 2-minute drive, his dream situation. See how Phil Parker and company defensive coordinator from Iowa will play this. Right now showing 2-deep zone. Gotta protect.
Raymond in there is the back. And the top 3 targets for Kaliakmanis all spread out wide. And he looks over the middle, and Lutmer with another good play. Since halftime, he's been nails in coverage.
Getting help by Fletcher in protection, and they still get pressure on Kaliakmanis. Lutmer knows the ball has to come out quickly. Good job being aggressive.
Kaliakmanis, pocket closes. It's the other end. Llewellyn had the last pressure. It's Herkett this time.
Getting back aligned, hustling back, but another great effort sack.
3rd and forever. Kaliakmanis misses his man.
Yeah.
So the game will come down to a 4th down and 17 for Rutgers.
Percentage when you get a sack on this drive right here, you know, it's like over 90% that you're going to win the game and end this thing. That effort from Herkett, showing the speed rush upfield, redirected inside, beating them inside and trying to end Kaliakmanis' day. 4th in the ball game. Got to get it out.
Well, Iowa's defense did not get a stop the first 3 drives on the field tonight. Gronowski and the offense have matched the scoring of Kaliakmanis. And now the defense with a chance to clinch it for Iowa. Rutgers with one last shot at it. Kaliakmanis into coverage, broken up. He challenged TJ Hall, playing the best of his lifetime. And he just sent Iowa to 1-0 in the Big Ten.
Again, just another version of 2-man, 2-trail. The safety's over the top. In that situation, Phil Parker, defense coordinator, knows Kaliakmanis cannot run the ball. 4th and 17. He's not going to run the ball against that 2-man look. Great defensive stop. Watch all these guys run with their coverage. Everybody's staying with him. There's 2 safeties over the top. You see Wampa showing up. Well done.
Well, Phil Parker told us, TJ Hall says no mercy with the thumbs down. He said that people have been taking shots at TJ Hall. He's been targeted in the deep passing game, and he has handled it really well. It's his play that ends up clinching it. Iowa in their favorite formation. And Gronowski with the first of a couple of kneel downs. Well, the play happened down at the goal line where Gronowski missed Ortworth short, and you're thinking, oh man, that could be one that, that Iowa's going to regret. And then back-to-back scoring drives, and Gronowski responded beautifully.
Stepped up, really rose to the occasion, made some big-time downfield throws, and then just some great decisions with the ball. They had some run read situations. A lot of it was just him doing what he does: be big, be physical, get vertical, and putting him in position in the best play. And if your team's doing it, victory.
Well, this is one Iowa needed to have with that talk of possibly being a playoff team this year. We got number 19 Indiana coming to your place next. And a huge 3 games at home in the middle of the year against number 2 Penn State, Minnesota, and number 6 Oregon. But they can check that first box after Rutgers went blow for blow early.
Huge.
Iowa finishes strong and wins by 10.
A ton of respect between those two men. We've talked about it a lot, visited over the years between the two staffs, study each other in terms of, certainly from a defensive standpoint, from a special team standpoint, so many similarities. Rutgers will not go away, man. This is a good football team, a tough football team, but tonight the better squad won, for sure. Great night here, great atmosphere, but the visitors spoiled the blackout.
When Mark Gronowski hopped in the transfer portal after 2 FCS national championships at South Dakota State, Iowa had a lot of hope that they could win games like this. Higher scoring after years of winning 6-4 and 7-3 and 13-10. But offense against offense tonight, and Jen is with Kirk Ferentz after the win for Iowa.
Indeed, guys. Coach, congratulations. This was a litmus test, a Big Ten matchup for you. What did you learn about your team tonight?
Well, first of all, we knew this was going to be hard. Great environment. They've got a really good football team. Their coaches do a great job, and their players do a great job. So we knew it was going to be hard. Didn't expect it to be quite the way it was, but it's just one of those games. Sometimes that happens, and we played good team football, good complementary football, and came up with some stops at the end. We needed them. Turnover finally. I think it's our first one this year, and the offense did a great job doing, converting, scoring points.
It is your first takeaway this season. What changed in the second half for your defense with that? And you found a pass rush.
Sometimes things just happen, and you can't explain it. You have to play through it. And fortunately, we got a little traction there the second part of the second half, and meanwhile the offense was doing their job. So that's how it works sometimes.
Speaking of that, take me inside your evaluation of Mark Gronowski. 3 rushing touchdowns and a season high in passing yards. Just
keeps getting better, and not a surprise. He's such a high caliber guy. Works hard, great attitude, and so it's not a surprise. I'm just we're thrilled he's with us. He's a real team leader.
Looking forward to watching you the rest of the season. Thanks for your time, Coach.
Thanks, Jen. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Guys.
Kirk Ferentz win number 207, extending his Big Ten record. And not surprised by Gronowski, but he did sound a little surprised by the final score of 38-28. On Iowa-like with the win tonight, riding their good offense. We'll be back after this. Well, at least 4 more top 25 games to come for Iowa. They had to have this one to set them up, and Mark Gronowski missed giving himself a 7-point lead, but responded in a wonderful way tonight. Back-to-back touchdown drives after that to win it.
Spotted in huge fashion. That was a big test right there, missing Ortworth, and then just gutting it out. Hard ball, runs 1,000 pounds, a Hawkeye in the end zone right now, and another great one tomorrow.
Sure is. Number 17, Texas Tech. Number 16, Utah. Start your Saturday strong with Big Noon Saturday as the Utes and the Red Raiders battle for the top of the Big 12, kicking off at 10 Eastern with Big Noon kickoff live from Salt Lake City. And it's Texas Tech, Utah, only on Fox tomorrow. So that does it from us. Entertaining game, shootout to begin it, and then Iowa closes with a 10-point win to go 1-0 with the win against Rutgers in front of a sold-out blackout crowd. For our crew, Joe Williams and Tyler Dare, happy birthday to Mike Rudolphi, our talent stats, and Mark Elfrich, Connor Onion, and Jen Hale saying goodnight from Piscataway. Iowa wins it by 10.